Hello, everybody, and we're back again with another podcast interview, whatever we're calling all this stuff now. And I think this is the fourth one or the fifth one, depending on if you're counting, or it could be the third one. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I don't claim to be a mathematician, but I do claim to be a wrestler, all right? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here because we got Raw 25 going on. And we are backstage in a remote room right now because it's really loud in the backstage area. And there's
It's
a lot
cold.
It is cold. It's really loud. It's really
I
cold.
hate New York.
There's a lot of. I hate New York too. I hate New York more than anybody.
I'm
I
glad
never
I'm
wanted
in
to
Los
be.
Angeles, and I can't wait to go back there. It's just so cold here.
Oh, Los Angeles sucks. I'm talking about Florida, buddy. But yeah, it's really cold backstage. It's really well. It's cold in this room. It's hot backstage because there's so many sweaty, oiled up men. Don't come near Alan. Um, a lot of talking, a lot of commotion, so we had to move to a remote room to do this. So I want to talk about the Super Bowl is coming up. We got the Jets versus the Yankees. I mean, we got the Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Ugh.
Yeah, baby. No, I'm kidding. My Eagles finally made it. They've sucked in their history, and now we have to face the GOAT once again.
And to lose, only to lose, because we all know Tom Brady's gonna win. It's like bringing a piece of loaf to a gunfight. All right, pal.
A piece of loaf?
Yeah, a piece of bread loaf to a gunfight, my man.
What is that comparison?
So yeah, Tom Brady's gonna win that. And recently this weekend there was a lot of controversy because they announced the Oscars. Or was it earlier this week? They announced the Oscars and Wonder Woman didn't make the Oscars, so a lot of people are upset about that.
She did it?
No, the movie did not get any kind of Oscar nod whatsoever, and people are upset about that. I personally don't care about the Oscars. You don't need to get an Oscar to know your movie is good. It's literally just an award show that like 5 people decide which movies are the best. I don't think 5 people is a majority. So obviously the majority of people think Wonder Woman should be in the Oscars. Okay? Not a bunch of old white people who just sit around and I guess decide what movies they like the best. That's stupid. Okay, never liked the Oscars, never cared about the Oscars. I only really wanted one person to get an Oscar in my life, and that was Leonardo DiCaprio. So he already got it, so the Oscars are irrelevant to my life. So as long as we know, don't let it distract you from the fact that Wonder Woman transcended the movie industry.
Right.
And it was a big movie. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I've gotten 3 Emmys, but no, I've gotten 3 Emmys for my acting, but they don't give me any validation. I mean, yes, it's cool to have, but it's not like it validates me because there's so many award shows that they're not relevant.
Right, they have one like every weekend.
Oscars, everything, they're just not relevant at all.
They have one like every weekend too, so it's so annoying. It's like, ugh, where's my NASCAR awards? Anyway, so
NASCAR comes back next month.
It does?
Yes.
Shit. Is Mike Moonty racing? Anyway, so I myself, speaking of movies, I myself got signed to Mission Impossible 6 with Tom Cruise. Yeah, it's a really big deal, and they're calling it Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, and I just got my script for it. I'm not playing a big part, but I got like 1 or 2 lines. But it's a Tom Cruise movie.
1 or 2 lines.
Yeah, I get to get
make
punched.
A Shane McMahon cameo.
Yeah, like in that movie Rollerball where he just looked at the camera. And Paul Heyman and RVD, I think, just looked at the camera. Yeah,
I've been an extra in a few movies. I was in World War Z. I was a guy that got killed.
So like everybody in that movie, then.
Yeah.
I just get punched in the face by Tom Cruise, so that's nice.
I was in that random scene where I was a civilian.
Oh yeah, with Vito and Chavo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Chavo's backstage. What is he doing here?
I don't know. Who invited him? Is he even wrestling? Is he doing a segment?
Well, because the Snyders were doing a promo, and I was in one of the locker rooms, and then after the segment, I came out and I saw Chavo because that's when the camera, like right before the camera started filming me, I said, "Chavo, is that you?" He's like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "What the hell are you even doing here?" He's like, "Oh, you'll see." I was like,
I think
what?"
he just ran away from Alan. That's pretty much all he did. I'm pretty sure that's all he did was run away from Alan. I love Chavo. Where's Ray at, man? Oh my god, I haven't seen Ray all day. Maybe it's just
Yeah,
late. I want Ray here. Screw
I
Chavo.
saw him. I saw him on the outside of the arena because I went to get my MRI yesterday after that tag team match where I
Yeah,
hurt my neck,
yeah.
and he was standing outside. I didn't even see him. But he was like, "Oh, Hayden Amigo," and I was like, I looked back. I was like, "What? Ray? Oh my God, Ray!" And, yeah.
Yeah, I love Chavo. I love Ray.
Ray's great backstage.
I don't know. He's probably hanging out. He's probably hanging out with what's his face? Batista. He's probably hanging out with Batista, the animal.
They have a funny friendship.
Who, Batista and Ray?
Yes.
How's their friendship funny?
Batista's always cracking on him for being a midget.
That's Kevin Nash too. So,
Kevin.
tired to talk about all those announcements. I got those out of the way, so now I can get to the actual interview aspect, which is what you guys are probably here for. I mean, who doesn't want to hear us talk about wrestling a little bit, though? I mean, we are going to be talking about wrestling anyway, but...
I want to talk about LeBron James. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, we can talk about LeBron James.
Oh.
So, yeah, first questions first, man. Just talking about Raw 25. So, how's Raw 25 going for you?
I mean, it's great seeing all these faces, and it's actually quite the mystical experience. Well, not mystical. I think that was the wrong word. Magical. There we go, magical. Because there's all these legends backstage, and every time I bump into someone, they're like, "Oh man, your run as WWE Champion is great." Especially Kevin Nash, because he's doofy. He walked up to me and he like looked at the title, like he looked as if he was gonna like steal it or something. And he was like, "Oh, Hayden, how's it going, man?" I'm like, like what the hell, Kevin Nash? He's like, "No, man, for real, I give you so much props. I remember when I was champion." I was like, I wasn't even born yet when he was champion. Yeah, so many people have given me props. It's like everywhere I walk, someone's like, "Oh man, you're doing great. You're doing this and you're doing that." I'm like, and after a while, it's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I soak it in. It's like, oh well, it's Raw 25 and I'm the WWE champion. Oh, amazing moment. But yeah, there's so many fucking goddamn legends.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
ridiculous.
mad, like, old people I used to watch on freaking DVDs that I used to buy. Well, that my dad used to buy for me. But yeah, those people I used to watch just walking around backstage. Freaking Ric Flair, bringing them, literally just talking to a bunch of production girls for no reason in the corner.
Yeah, I was at the hospital and Ric Flair was cutting that promo on me. I was a little scared, like, wow, he's really going in on me. And then I saw him today and I was like, wow, good promo out there, Rick. And he's just like, oh man, just wait till what we're gonna do today and all that. So yeah, I guess that's a little spoiler. Me and Ric Flair are gonna have a little something something, but
Ooh, scandalous.
yeah, there's so many goddamn legends. Like every corner you turn, there's like I laughed, and I think Goldust was gonna punch me in the face for laughing because he went out after his match where he got squashed and he did that promo, and he came backstage in his boxers and his shirt, and I laughed, like I had a little chuckle.
He's like,
He got so pissed.
They don't play any games, man. They don't play no games.
Yeah, that's the thing about these legends, like, because the backstage right now, the way it is, it's like everyone just enjoys each other. There's a lot of laughs. There's no like tension or anything.
Right.
And you got these old people that are still like really trying to take it seriously.
Right. They're really in their craft. Before Chris Jericho went out and John Cena was about to cut a promo. Chris Jericho, I tried talking to him. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't say anything. I would give him a pat on the back. I was like, hey, man, go out there and kill it. He didn't even look at me. He didn't say anything. He just looked forward. He did his little throwback entrance, which was really cool. He walked down. Same thing happened with The Rock. Stone Cold gave me a chuckle and a wink for some reason. I don't know what that was about. Hulk Hogan gave me a slap on the chest and said, "Watch this, brother."
Yeah, I had a very good conversation with Hulk Hogan before he went out.
Oh,
He
what
was
was
like,
that?
it was like before he went out, like, cause he arrived into the arena literally like 20 minutes before he went out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was hilarious. Like everyone was like so nervous that Hulk Hogan wasn't gonna show up. And like they were trying to plan something, like they were gonna send me out there if Hulk Hogan didn't come out. And
Alan
then
was
he just
very.
arrives in this NWO gear and like literally two young females on the side of his arms. And it was just great. And yeah, he talked to me a little bit, gave me some pointers like don't treat it too much like a joke. And then yeah, and then he just went out there. And then I'm just sitting back. I was mesmerized. And then they all came back and yeah, Chris Jericho did the same thing to me. Like I was like, "Oh, you looked good." I told everyone they looked good. And then Jericho just looked at me and just walked away. I was like, "All right, what's your problem?" But the funniest part was when me and Anthony were in the little meeting we had for the match we're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
at the end, and like me and him tried to crack a joke and no one laughed. Yeah, no one laughed.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, like
They're so.
John and all them, they just stared at us.
They're
Like
so. I'm surprised John. I'm surprised John didn't laugh.
they just stared a hole through us. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not used to this.
They were taking it mad seriously, because they're all grizzled and old and not like a bad thing, but they're all grizzled and veterans, so they kind of they take it a little more seriously when it comes to getting down to business.
Yeah, because normally when we do those creative meetings where we discuss stuff, it's like a lot of laughs, and then
Yeah, we just make jokes like, all right, let's send freaking Mustafa Ali out there to squash Aiden.
that's what I said. Like we were sitting there, and I'm like, what if Santino Morella came out? And Anthony was the only one that laughed.
Yeah, Santino.
I thought
Santino's
Stone
nowhere
Cold
to
was
be
gonna stunner me right there.
found. Santino's nowhere to be found, man. Oh.
Has he even made an appearance?
No, I don't think he's appeared. There's some guys who are literally just here. They're literally just here to party. Like people think that you're gonna see like you're not gonna see them. You're probably gonna see. They're probably like gonna post a selfie or something. But
Yeah,
I don't
because
think.
Gregory Helms is here too.
Yeah, he was here in his hurricane costume when it first showed up. I was like, what the hell is this?
He's there.
I thought that was Zach in that costume. I was like, what the hell is going
After JBL's commentary, he's just been partying nonstop.
on?
Like I got in today at like 7 a.m. and he was already drunk. I was like, okay, all right, JBL.
JBL got freaking Farouk, the whole Nation of Domination, even though they did do it back.
Yeah, they did that little promo. I was like, wow, I didn't even know they were here.
Right? I was like, huh? I walked by, I almost stepped into the camera too. I was like, what the hell?
I was watching in the locker room, and then I look around. I was like, wait, when did Mark Henry even get here?
I was trying to get the caterer. I see all these black dudes crowded up at a table, all sweaty. Just like, okay, the hell is this? It's really crazy back here though. It's really crazy. But the best thing about it is when these guys are around, you get some pretty interesting conversations and interactions.
Yeah, like
and they give
I
you
never
good
thought I would
feedback.
get into an in-depth conversation with Carlito.
Yeah, Carlito. Carlito's a smart guy. I'll tell you that.
Like for some reason, Carlito and Scott Hall approached me. I don't know why they were hanging out. I don't know what relevance they have talking to each other. But they came up to me and they were like, "Oh man, when we would have loved the world title, but now that we look back, we didn't need the world title to be over and whatever." I thought they were roasting me for a second. They brought up a great point, I guess, that don't let the WWE title validate you. I'm like, yeah. And then Scott Hall like randomly brought me back and showed me some of the NWO tapes that I've already seen like 20 times.
Yeah, you get some interesting conversations because these guys they give you like really good critical feedback really because they've been around the mill like hundreds
Yeah.
of times. Stone Cold has main evented WrestleMania dozens of times. Well, not really dozens, but he's main evented WrestleMania a lot. Undertaker's been at just about damn near every major WrestleMania.
He only missed one, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he only missed like one or two, but you know, Undertaker's been around, and that's kind of a spoiler too, I guess, because they didn't know Undertaker was here. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of. You get to collect a lot of knowledge when you talk to.
Undertaker's scary cool. Like, he's so chill backstage. Scary.
I think we're lucky that we weren't here when he was like the backstage locker room leader, because he had that wrestler's court. Anthony doesn't even hold a wrestler's court. Anthony or Allen, they just do what they do. Like, if they gotta suspend you, there's no court. They literally just walk up to you and be like, "Leave, get out of my building."
Yeah, that's what happened after my match with Zach at Extreme Rules. Allen sent me home.
What the hell, Allen? Oh my god.
We'll get to that Extreme Rules match later. That was pretty controversial.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm gonna add that to my notes actually. So give me a second. Okay, so my next question. Well, if I'm like listing my questions here, I'm not even trying to segue into them because I'm just trying to be chill right now. You know, it's really cold in here, so fuck it. All right. So we were just talking about the whole Raw 25, the Ric Flair promo. So what are because there's a lot of high expectations going into this match with Okada. Like, everyone around the world has their eyes on this. People in Japan, people in India, people in Mexico, everybody's watching this match because this is probably the biggest match of 2018. This is the first time in history, really, that we're going to have the current IWGP heavyweight champion going against the WWE champion. It's literally the biggest match of 2018.
Right.
So there's a lot of do you think you can, like, live up to everybody's, like, do you think their expectations are too high, or do you think you can live up and put on this 5-star match, possibly a 6-star match?
Oh, I think me and him are definitely gonna put on a show. This is the first time that I've trained differently to go into a match. Like, I'm eating way different. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I keep 100% body shape for this match, because they really want me and Okada to have the best match of the year.
Right.
And we are only in January.
Right.
So when Alan told me that, I was like, wow, we're just in January and he wants us to have the match of the year. Like, they don't want anything to beat this. That's how much they're hyping this.
Yeah.
And even Jeff Jarrett, who runs the Mexican promotion, he texted me and he was like, yeah, man, everyone in Mexico's talking about this. Good luck. And I'm like, why does Jeff Jarrett have my phone
number? That's what I was about to ask. How did he get your phone number?
Yeah, like, it's different. Like, I get a different vibe from this match than any match that I've ever had. Like, the Big Show match, the Anthony Chandler match, those were big, but this Okada match is huge. Like, they really want it to be something. They have me training like 3 times a day on our off days, like, just doing random moves, whatever I can pull out of the bag. It's gonna be a big deal, and I think we will live up to the expectation. Because Okada is a pretty cool guy. He's easy to work with. Surprising.
Yeah, he's just getting really good at his English too, so that's a plus side. I guess most of that has to do with Alan, because, well, I heard that Alan basically forced him to up his English.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I say, like, difficult English words and he looks at me like I'm stupid.
Yeah, that's a product of Alan.
Really, really good to work with, like, because I thought he was going to come in here and he was going to try to, like, run not the storyline. I thought he was going to run the spots, because there's those certain wrestlers that like to try to plan every single spot out. I thought those guys.
Yeah.
But he actually wasn't. He was like, his first question to me was like, besides, how are you doing? Like, how do you want it to go or whatever? He was just like, well, what do you want to do? And then I was like, no, what do you want to do? He's like, what do you want to do? And then, yeah, we just planned everything, and it's gonna be great.
I can't wait for it. It's gonna be, it is gonna be the biggest match of 2018, first time ever. A lot of pressure, but I mean, you've been under pressure. You've been under pressure since the moment you stepped into this. So.
Yeah, and like, it's every match I have, it's just pressure.
Yeah, you know what pressure is. You've been under it. You've been under that microscope since you first stepped in.
Like, yesterday, I was actually supposed to show up to the contract signing, but the doctor wanted to do, like, extra tests just to make sure.
Doctors are annoying.
Yeah, but Alan was like, I texted Alan, I was like, yo, Alan, I'm here at the hospital. I should be there for the thing. He's like, no, I told the doctor to make sure that you're 100% okay. I'm like, what the hell, Alan? You know I have a segment coming up. He's like, no, just stay over there. You know, make sure you're okay. It's okay, whatever. I'm like, oh my god. And then I watch, and Ric Flair's roasting me. I'm like, oh my Jesus.
No, yeah, I think most of that is because of what happened with Seth. They're being really cautious now because the reason he lost the title is because he got injured, and he was going to win it back because he was uninjured, but he's still not at 100%. Like, he's still working while he's hurt.
Yeah, which I don't even agree with. Like,
yeah.
every time he's done doing something, he comes like back and he's all, you can tell he's trying to hide it, but he's doing a horrible job.
Right. Like, so I think Alan's just trying to play it safe now because I do feel kind of bad for Seth, but he really wants to be here, so I'm not gonna fight him about it. I mean,
Alan's a funny guy because ever since I became the WWE champion, literally if I like stubbed my toe, he'd send me to the doctor. Like, Alan, yes, he does do like put on these extreme matches, but he's like really, really good with us and making sure we're good.
Right. Like, he'll put himself in danger before he throws us into danger.
Like, when I fought that match with a concussion, he really wanted me not to, and you literally have to beg Alan to wrestle injured.
Right, yeah, like the only reason I can do it right now, like after my shoulder injury, is because of Anthony. Anthony's the one that he was like, because it was a big argument for like 2 weeks between me and Anthony versus Alan. And for some reason, Chad got involved and told me he offered me these kind of steroids. I'm like, I'm not taking these.
What the hell?
What the hell? And
when your grandfather
he did. He started off like under the table. I'm just like, we were at a dinner. He offered me under the table while Anthony and Alan were arguing. So yeah, I got Anthony to sign the contract. Alan, my dad, he still doesn't want me to wrestle, but Anthony does. That's the only reason I'm really here right now. I was supposed to come back at the Rumble. But I wanted to come back earlier because I was like, well, all my friends are really hot right now. Like, I mean, physically and like in wrestling wise. But like, I was like, Hayden's all hot. Freaking Seth's coming back. We got, everything's kicking up a notch because the season started off slow. But after you won the title, it got all like heavy. I was like, dang, I want to come back now.
Yeah, that's kind of what made me come back the third time was when, I think it was before my Big Show program. Yep. Like, everything looked really good, and then Alan messaged me. He's like, yo, man, you want to come back? I'm like, nah. Like, I was lying. I was absolutely lying when I said no. And then, like, I texted him, like, 2 weeks later, oh, yeah, I'll come back. He's like, oh, okay, come to the office right now. We'll get into the details. I'm like, oh, okay. And it really felt like he wanted me back that time.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll give it another try, and now we're here.
Yeah, that was really and we'll talk more about that in a second, because that was in a few minutes, probably not a second. But that was really that was one of the biggest comebacks at the time. But
it's just like
what?
Alan, he'll literally cut off any main event if someone's injured. Like, that's what he's willing to go for us. So that part of it is it's avoiding lawsuits in the future.
Right.
I'm kidding, but.
Yeah, but you don't know who's gonna be like pop up like, all right, Alan got me hurt. They're gonna run out of money and they're just gonna be like, who can I pick on? All right, let me pick on Alan. I mean, Alan can obviously get out of it because he's fucking rich. But
he just bought a mansion for no reason.
Yeah, right. I'm like, what the hell? What was that about?
He has 3 houses in different states.
Yeah, why did he do that?
He just bought that mansion for 1 week. Whatever, Alan.
I'm like, what the hell? Why the hell did he do that? Why? Oh my god, that's why Anthony was so pissed at him that whole week. They were literally arguing for that whole week up until they've actually been like arguing up until like last week. Like, I don't know why they've been at each other's necks until like last week. I don't know. They have like a saying
because they try to hide it from everyone, but you can tell.
Right?
Like, whenever like Alan says something, Anthony gives him that look. He's like, oh, shut the fuck up already.
Yeah, Anthony and Alan are crazy, man. They're crazy. I'm glad they're running this company though. I'm really glad.
Yeah, because the creative team, like from season 2 and season 3, I think the creative team has definitely progressed from then.
Yeah, like
they made sure it's not all politics anymore. It's more of you have to prove yourself kind of thing.
Right. It used to be really chaotic. But like I talked about with Paul Starr, the creative team was set up where you literally had to use politics to get any kind of over. You
Right.
kind of had to, because if you didn't, you'd just be like a jobber for the rest of your.
Yeah, then there was people like me that didn't like I didn't want to kiss anyone's ass. I just wanted to go out there and perform.
Right.
And then you had people kissing ass and like getting everything handed to them, and then I'm just sitting there like, wow, they're changing my storyline like every 2 weeks.
Right. And
Like 1 minute I'm feuding with John the Cat Hardy, and the next minute I'm fucking dead.
oh yeah, I remember that story. That was in NXT back then too. Well, I was just getting into NXT back then, but that was that was that was when the booking was like, everything was last minute, like literally before, it would literally be like 10 minutes before Raw would start, and they would change the main event, or they would change something major. They
That
had a
death
major
storyline was the stupidest shit I've ever done.
Wasn't that with like Big Johnny, and they investigated Big Johnny?
Yeah, like
And then
and
Rush and Antonio were behind it, I think.
no, it was my father.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was the stupidest thing ever because while I'm dead, they hid me in a remote location. They took that storyline so seriously.
They locked you out of social media.
I couldn't tweet. I couldn't post any videos. I couldn't talk to anybody in case some hacker traced it. And fans were starting to think that I was dead. Because everyone's like, "Oh, this is just a storyline."
Yeah.
Because I was able to scroll on Twitter because it doesn't tell if you're online or not.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, "Oh my God, is Hayden really dead? He hasn't posted anything." Because I'm a big social media guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, Hayden hasn't posted anything in like 2 months. Is he really dead?" And that's when like creative was like, "All right, we have to bring it back now because people are gonna start like questioning this for real."
We're gonna get some WCW people calling the police, actually.
Yeah, they literally like put me in a remote location. They tried to take that storyline seriously.
Oh, Vince, man. Oh, God. Always trying to hold on to
And
kayfabe.
Vince is like, if you're shown even going to the supermarket, I'm gonna bring you back and you're gonna get squashed. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
But they set me up though at that remote location.
Oh, what the hell? Oh yeah, the creative team was definitely
They were on drugs.
yeah, it was definitely something else back then.
Especially that John the Cat Hardy storyline where they had me in a relationship with his daughter. That was just so
What the
weird. Like
hell?
he filmed us like how actors like don't have sex but it makes it look like they're having sex.
Yeah.
That is the most awkward thing you can ever do as an actor.
Oh my God.
And I had to do it for the WWE.
Which is literally just softcore porn anyway.
Yes.
So kind of like nullifies the point. But I like recording those kind of segments though. Not like the sex, but like the segments where it's not in the ring and they got like cameras and lights and special effects and stuff. Like I like those kind of segments. I used to do those like literally last season
Right.
season
But
7.
normally when they do something like that, you get to meet the person and like talk and like, but no, they just threw me into that segment. They sat me down and told me, "You're gonna go have fake sex with her." I'm like, "What?" And then like 5 minutes later, they pushed me into the room and camera started rolling. I was like, "All right, now what?"
That's it. All the WWE cringe compilations on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
It literally-
I've watched those. I'm in a bunch of those.
She literally appears in every one. I'm only in like one of them. And it's not even about me either. It's about Zach, which is funny. So, oh shit. Oh, this has me fucked up. I'm sorry, that whole thing has me fucked up. We were just talking about Alan. So I wanted to talk a little more about Alan because, Alan's been, as always, it's like, whenever you say Alan's on a roll, it's like, well, no shit. Like, he's always on a roll. He's always doing something. Like, he's never gone for a long time either. Ridiculous. But yeah, what's it like, with Alan? Like, I mean, because obviously, you're his top champion. Like, what is your guys' kind of like relationship? Even though we kind of already went over that, but I still have to ask it anyway.
Yeah, over my career, it's been up and down, but more than ever now, it's just I'm super thankful whenever I see Alan, I'm like, oh man, thanks. Like every time I get done with a segment, and then Alan just comes up and offers me a handshake, I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And then I think he's getting sick and tired of me saying thank you, because every time I say thank you, he just like shakes his head and walks away. But other than that, it's just a really chill, cool thing we have going on in friendship, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there's not like it's not like it used to be where one minute we would hate each other, one minute we were like the best thing backstage, but yeah, it's really nothing more than it's just cool.
He gets a lot of flack backstage though for no reason, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what comes with being Alan, really.
yeah, I mean it's always like, uh, when you're a main eventer, like when you're a veteran main eventer, like
Yeah,
everyone has that kind of shade at you, but
right.
it's different for like guys like me and you, like when we're the top guy but we're young. That's when like all the freaking random mid carders hate you for some reason. That's annoying.
Yeah, like one time, what's his name? Oh wow, I'm forgetting his name, but I went backstage and then I was just sitting at my locker going through my phone, and then he just walks up to me. He's like, "I was sitting there." I'm like, "What?" And then I just got up and moved, and then like he just kept staring at me like with this disgusting look on his face. And this was during my storyline with the Big Show, not the match or anything, but like during the storyline. I'm trying to remember his name. Who did Paul Starr talk about in his interview?
Who?
Yeah, I'm really mad that I forgot him. He was the United States champion.
Chris Coleman?
No. Oh, it'll come to me eventually. I have bad short-term memory, long-term memory. You know.
There are a lot of people that are United States champion there, hey guy.
It was Finley. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's like these random mid carders hate you now because you're going to the top and they're still on the mid card. It's just like,
Oh yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
like wait your turn. Like, what the hell is this?
Especially us young guys that have been champion for a little bit, they hate us.
Yeah, like it's
They
like
hate us.
it's like okay, well some people make it and some don't, but you just gotta wait or like put yourself out there, have a different personality, like go above and beyond for shit. Like in my interview with Zach, he said, I asked him the question because in Alan's interview, which was a really great interview, like the
Right.
best, she asked you if about like all the people that are like, oh well, you only got pushed in this company because of your father when you first came in, and
Right,
like
which is
Ric Flair
right,
kind of alluded to that in kayfabe, of course. I don't think Ric Flair was shooting,
right.
but he kind of alluded to that. And I asked Zach about it. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's true." He said, "Yeah, he did get pushed because of his dad."
That's the problem about Zach. He's just an idiot. It's like anyone backstage knows that it's Alan more than anything. I mean, my dad helped me get my foot in the door, but my dad is one of those dads where like he's not just gonna hand shit to me for free.
Right.
Even especially if I didn't have the talent. I mean, I had the talent, but it was like a raw talent, like it wasn't exposed yet. And then Alan was like, "All right, well, I see the potential in this guy, so let me do what I want with him." And I was like, "All right, you do you,
Yeah,
Alan." So Alan,
cause people seem to forget that he's had a creative contract clause ever since he came back.
great.
So he's always like whenever he faced a young guy, that was on his own accord. Like he wanted to do that match. It wasn't like somebody said, "Oh, hey, you have to face this guy."
Right, because you can't tell Alan you have to do anything.
Right. Like
'Cause-
sometimes you can and he does it, but it's not gonna be a guy who just came into the company. Like obviously, if that happens, it's Alan saying that he wants to do it.
right, and that's what the part that people don't understand. Like, there's a difference between getting your foot in the door and then actually getting a push. I didn't get a push to start. I was in NXT. I faced the Boogeyman at WrestleMania for fuck's sake. Like the Boogeyman. And then I had this little like mini feud with Elis. Is that how you pronounce his name? Elis? Yeah. And that's been the mystery backstage like his whole career, how to pronounce his name.
No one's ever told me. I just been calling him. I just calling him Elis for the longest time. He's never
Yeah.
corrected me.
There's always this backstage debate about how to pronounce his name, which is irrelevant, but like whatever. And then and then Alan was like, "All right, well you've proved that you can at least, hang around, so do you want a match with me?" And I was like, I was like, sure, why not? What the hell? You're Alan Snyder. I'm Hayden. Let's do it.
But
But that's the problem that people don't understand. And Zach wasn't even like, he was there, but like he wasn't there. Like when he was backstage, he never really paid attention to his surroundings, which was pretty annoying.
he had like some irrelevant match with John Cena at WrestleMania, and I think he showed up late. I think he showed up late to
He did.
WrestleMania.
But like I don't. He can say that it was all because of my dad, and all because of this. But literally, my dad let me get my foot in the door,
Oh,
and then just let me go.
and let me remind everybody that his dad is the brother of Anthony's dad. They're brothers, and you know how Anthony is. Anthony's like he's like his dad, but he actually kind of cares about people. So
His dad's a crazy.
so yeah. So if you ever met Anthony's dad, Robert, he's well, I'm not gonna bag his dad, but it's kind of true. Like he's not a good person in my opinion. But
Yeah, my dad, he was kind of the same way as Anthony's dad, but he cared a little bit more. I would
yeah,
say. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to compare like who cared more because that's not right.
right.
But like my daddy, like even when I was a little kid, he was just like in school, for example, like if I got in trouble in school, I got like really in trouble at home, like no matter what it was. But like he never like held my hand through anything, like anything. Even if I asked, like I had to learn everything on my own pretty much, but he was there.
Right, right. That's how it was for me, really, because I stayed with Chad when Alan was wrestling for
Right.
um the first 6 years of my life, I think. Yeah, and then he came he got injured in 2000. After a match,
Right.
broke his neck, and they wouldn't WWE would not sign Alan back at all. And before then, it was just like it was basically just Ashley and Chad guiding me, but when Alan came back, I had to step up and I had to, learn all this stuff. But he was guiding me as I was going on my
Right.
journey to learn, And then at first I didn't want to do wrestling. At first I wanted to do acting, but then
Yeah, that was the same way with me. I wanted to be
yeah,
an actor.
yeah, and then Ashley and Alan kind of guided me to becoming a wrestler, and then people are like, because people say the same thing about me. Oh well, because it's you're Alan's son. I love how I came in when Alan was jobbing. Like I literally squashed Alan in my
You,
first match.
you beat Alan. That was great.
Yeah, I made Alan
I
my
even
bitch in my
dogged
first
Alan
match.
about that.
And people were like, "Oh, he came in because like, okay, but I'm squashing him." So I don't get it. Like Alan was at the time Alan came in, he was kind of irrelevant at the time. Like not until he like I think he won the WWE title, and then that's when you came back after Big Show beat him for the like. Alan held the WWE title. He feuded Batista and then lost it. Like that's pretty much all Alan did
Right.
after I came after I destroyed him with the Avengers, and it's like like I hate when people say that because you have a family member
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
high in
saying.
the
Because like
company. It's like
I've
okay,
I myself, because we all know happened when my mother, she passed away when I was 5 and stuff.
yeah,
But like so my father was forced to be there. Like, but that's how it always felt. Like it felt like he was forced to be there because he was in wrestling, but like he also had to take care of me and my sister at the time. So it almost felt like he was forced to be there, and he was kind of annoyed because he wasn't big, but he was all right. He was an all right wrestler. And so when I said I wanted to act, he was like, "All right, go do it." And then when I said, because like Anthony was like in wrestling his whole life, and then there was just me who was all over the place. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe I can give this wrestling thing a try. And he didn't help me whatsoever. Like, I actually had to go to a wrestling school. He didn't teach me anything, but he saw, like, when he picked me up from the wrestling school, he would give me pointers or whatever, but he never
hmm
taught me anything.
Right, like people think just because you have like a family member, it's like, dude, there's a lot of people who have family members in here. Like,
Right.
what the hell? There's a lot of people. Like, I was shocked when I found out that you and Anthony were related. Are you related to Omega or is that just Anthony?
That's just Anthony.
Okay, because I've always been confused about that. I was like, wait, so what the hell? There's no way they're related. There's absolutely no way they're
Yeah.
related. Because
Yeah. No.
your dad doesn't even look at him when he walks by him. I'm just like, oh, I thought they were like these nephew and uncle. I thought they were gonna like hug each other. I just looked. I was like, what the hell? He just
Yeah,
passed
that's
right by him.
such a bullshit theory because the WWE does not work like that at all. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
I
doesn't.
guess you can say Roman, but like The Rock only got Roman's foot in the door.
Right.
He handled the rest.
And Roman had his whole family had history there too. So it could have been the Usos. It could have been freaking. It could have been
Like
Rikishi. Rikishi could have went up and talked to Allen.
When Eddie Guerrero died, rest in peace him, Chavo didn't get the push.
Ray got the push, not
They used
Chavo.
Ray for that. They didn't use Chavo.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's bullshit also, because you would think Chavo would get that push.
Right, but at the end of the day, and that's just a good example of how it takes, because Ray, he was more over, he had more charisma than Chavo.
Right.
He was a better character than Chavo.
Doesn't hand things to people just because
Right.
related to a certain somebody and somebody.
Right, like, and that's a perfect example. I'm glad you brought that up.
Right.
Good example.
That's why I think like Zach's interview is just so dumb because it's just his mind is just so biased.
He's a colorful guy. He has very strong opinions. I think my problem with him is I think he just has differing opinions just to have differing opinions for the
Just
sake
for
of
no
it.
reason.
Yeah, just for the sake of having. It's like, all right, that's cool once in a while, but it's like
Allen's been on record saying that he played a good hand in my success and not my dad.
right. Allen's
I've
always
said
said
it
that.
multiple times. My dad has said it. A lot of Anthony even said it that he didn't witness anything. He wasn't around at the time, but he was still like a backstage character.
Right, and he would have been the first person to talk about it.
Right. But like no, Zach's like, oh yeah, conspiracy. Whoa. Like no.
What the hell?
Zach always thought there was a conspiracy. That was funny.
He's been paranoid. He's paranoid a lot. Like he even said it in our interview, and after Paul Starr said it in our interview as well. He was just like, Zach is just paranoid. I think Zach's a cool dude when he's not in the company.
Yeah.
When he's not, like when I go over to his house in freaking Tennessee or over to his other house in Ohio, and we just have dinner or we just eat with our kids because our kids are really good friends, and if we just do that, he's actually pretty chill when we do all that. But when he starts talking about wrestling, it's just like, I don't know. Like I like to talk about his wrestling. I don't like to talk when we talk about like other people. Like he's like he's always saying like just like negative stuff when it has to do with the company now. Like I remember I don't know who the fuck clued him in on this WrestleMania meeting that was supposedly took place, but yeah, when they told Jay Carter who he might be facing at Mania, Zach's just like, no, you guys hate Jay Carter. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? They gave him. Did you, Hayden? Did you ever get a pay-per-view named after you? Did you ever get a pay-per-view in your honor? I never got an off-season pay-per-view in my honor. I've been here longer than him. I've actually won world. We both have actually won world titles. We both actually main evented WrestleMania. So it's like, what the hell? Like, it's like, he thinks that like nobody likes Jay Carter. It's just like he doesn't realize that. When he speaks out about stuff like that, it doesn't help Jay Carter. It actually hurts Jay Carter.
Yeah.
Because
that actually for some reason made me annoyed with Jay Carter.
Yeah, it did. It made me annoyed with Jay Carter too. Just like you're not gonna stop this guy. He's obviously ruining your image. He's not helping you because Anthony feels some type of way and Alan feels some type of way because they've been rooting for you for the longest time. They gave you a pay-per-view, an off-season pay-per-view. You were in the main event. And you screwed it up. There's not a conspiracy. There's no conspiracy against. There's no mass dislike. Well, there is from some people, but from management, there's not, from what I can tell.
Right.
In Anthony's Twitter bio, he even had Jay Carter in his Twitter bio for a while.
Zach is so cool. Like outside of the WWE, like I remember in the off season when he got signed to the contract that he blew again.
Yeah.
Like we had dinner and I was like, I was giving him tips on how I got the backstage area to like me.
Right.
And I'm just giving him tips and he's just like, yeah, man, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Your story is great. I understand. And then like the moment he stepped backstage for like the first Raw of the season, that just all went out the door.
Yeah,
oh, well, this is what I want to. This is what I want to have happen. Like that's how he was talking to people. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
I had to walk away.
And here's my problem. Like I don't like he thinks that people have a problem with him having his opinions. I don't. What I had a problem with was when somebody else has their opinion, he gets on the defensive, and that's not how life works. That's just not. If you're gonna be like this guy who's like all about, oh, I'm gonna speak. If you're trying to be CM Punk, you got to go all the way. All right.
Right.
The CM Punk, if you mouth off to him, he'll mouth off back to you, but he'll let you have your opinion. He won't. Like he'll have his opinions, but he'll let you have your opinions too, and he won't like he won't personally attack you and tell you to kill yourself and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah, like what Paul Starr said about, Zach when he told Ashley to kill herself. I'm glad I was not in the like during that moment. I was having my new contract being
yeah,
like redone.
yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't not in the company during that, because like I would have killed Zach. I probably would have like killed Zach.
Everybody's mad about that. Like, I don't even.
I'm surprised he was able to get out of the arena without anyone like touching him.
Well, like I said with my interview with Paul Starr, I heard I saw that door slam. I don't know what they did to him, but yeah, if anyone else, that's why I'm surprised. That explains why he was so guarded backstage at Wrestle Kingdom when his match with Hogan. Like, I didn't see him backstage at all. Well, I didn't hear about it. I wasn't there, but I didn't hear about him like backstage at all. Like, nobody said he was backstage.
I would have fucked him up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, it's like, oh, I personally can't do it because I'm thinking about his son, and I'm just like, oh, yeah.
I don't even care about his son or nothing. Like you don't tell someone to just go kill themselves and 100% mean it. Like
Yeah,
I know there's people that like say it as a joke, like oh kill yourself or whatever.
right. Like, we
But
say
you
that all
don't
the
tell
time.
someone that and mean it.
Right. It's like, and remember the cancer comments at the
Yeah, the cancer comments, the
Yeah.
New York comments. He has like a whole list of things that are embarrassing,
Yeah,
but he
that's
tries
what
to blame everyone else for why his downfall happened.
right. It's
But like you can literally point to this fucking list of things, and it is like longer than Santa Claus's naughty or nice list. Like,
it is pretty self-evident. Like, I was just like, man, like, at first I was mad, but the Christian man inside of me was just like, all right, well,
right.
I'm gonna because I know you're not a Christian, but still, I'm just like, I'm gonna let bygones be bygones.
What do you mean? I'm a God-loving man.
Okay, all right. I didn't know. Okay, God, I thought you were like a Muslim or something. Jesus,
Oh
fucking
Jesus.
Christ. But you're not a Muslim?
Do you not pay attention to my social media feed?
No, I thought you.
Talk about God all the time.
Oh, okay. I'm just messing with you, man. But seriously, I was like,
I just don't go to church. Church is
yeah.
kind of.
I go to if I want to like sleep, because
I only go when I really need like prayer, but like not with like I just go to one of those walk-in churches.
yeah, like I don't go for the whole dancing and singing. So I'm just like,
Church in my family is pretty awkward.
yeah, like Chad used to force me there. I used to just sleep. And he couldn't like hit anybody there because that'd be
Yeah.
against the Lord. So
It was just because it would be my family and Anthony's. Like when we were kids, my family and Anthony's family, and like his dad sucks, my dad sucks. So it was really like me and Anthony, we would like try to run away and like go something like me, Anthony, and my sister, we would just try to like just go off and do our own thing, but like no.
Anthony was an ugly ass baby, I'll tell you that.
He was. He would always brag about how he got bitches in high school.
I saw that picture. I was like, "What the hell?"
He did not, man. He did not.
Like, let me get out. I had to walk out the cabin for the longest time. I was just dying outside in the cold. I didn't even realize it was cold too. I came back with frostbite on my face.
Look, it was cold and fucking Alan didn't like put heat in most of the cabin. So.
It was his job. Like, I paid for the cabin. I was like, all right, you handle all the like the electricity.
Yeah, make sure there's there's heat.
Yeah, I was like, that's all you gotta do.
In the one main cabin.
I'm like, that's all you gotta do. No, Alan's worried about his freaking mansion that he randomly just bought. I'm just like, oh.
So like when I got there and I got into my cabin, I'm like, wow, it is cold in here. Where's the heat? Turn the switch, nothing happens. Turn the switch like 7 more times and it breaks.
It took like a good couple of days to get heat in that fucking cabin.
Yeah, it did.
So you guys, that was hell. That was hell. Like, I think Anthony got in his car and just heated it up and sat in there for like 7 hours straight.
Yeah, I did. I was in the back seat.
I was like, what the hell? You guys aren't coming inside? What the hell?
Yeah, I was just sitting in the back seat. Him and Ashley were sitting in the front seat. And then they started like making out or whatever, and then I went back to my cabin because I'm gonna witness that shit.
You weren't having none of that. Hell no. Hell.
That was just like the only place that was heated was his cabin. That was annoying.
Yeah, Alan's He's a bitch for that. Oh my god, I'm so glad Anthony wrecked his car for that too. He's an absolute bitch for that. His little new car that nobody else has, but he has. I'm like,
Yeah,
how'd you even get that? That's not even on sale yet. What the hell?
Alan's just weird. Like that's why like I only like hanging out with Alan when like other people are there. Cause like if you hang out with Alan in like your personal time, he's like I don't know. His wrestling career has done shit to him. Like he'll literally like one moment he'll be talking to you about how like yeah Hayden you should face this guy next this guy, and then out of nowhere but did you see my 1984 match with blah, 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 blah? I'm like oh my god, and then he'll like play the match. Oh wait, what's going on? What's going on in the Cavaliers game? I'm like oh my god. Do you want anything to eat? And then he'll start making something and be like, oh I don't want that anymore. And I'm like. Right found. And then he'll throw away the food, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I got money. Don't worry about it." I'm like, word.
What's going on in the Cavs game? Yeah. Oh, Al is a crazy dad. Crazy. He's always been that way. I don't even think wrestling just did that. I think he's just like that too.
Yeah, I was sad. Alan was like in his prime before I was born, so.
Right? He wasn't. He was in. Obviously. What am I about to say? What the hell am I about to say? What the hell? So, God. Oh, my teeth hurt from all that laughing. Anyway, we were talking about Zach, and in my interview with Paul Starr, he had a few choice words to say about Zach. He had a lot of choice words.
I loved his interview.
Oh, you like Paul Starr's interview? What do you think about Paul Starr's comments to you? Because he did have a couple things to say.
Yeah, I thanked him on the social media. Well, I didn't like on publicly, but I messaged him and I thanked him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't respond at all, but he knows that I was pretty thankful for that.
Right.
And his interview was like super in depth and cool. Like I never seen that side of Paul Starr.
Right, because
I only seen the asshole backstage.
Yeah, because he's so stoic. He's so
he's
quiet.
He would be like the killer in a mystery novel. No, I'm just playing.
He probably would though.
Yeah, he's pretty unique, and that interview just opened up a new side of him for me.
Right. So like I said in the interview, sometimes it takes that that cool down period to get to like know yourself again.
Right, like he said that he agreed with not being able that I agree with not being able to like watch when you're not in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's deep. Like I felt like no one else shared what I felt, because like when I was out of the company I couldn't watch.
What the hell? I was telling you. I was texting you. When you texted me, you were like, oh, did you see me win the title? Just like,
yeah.
What the hell? I was like, you won the title. I actually went back to watch, and that's literally when I started like really watching.
Yeah, because like I couldn't. When you're not in the company, you cannot watch.
Yeah, because it's hard. Because it's like you're texting people like, all right, when are we gonna work our match? You remember you're not in the company.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. Like, damn, you start planning out spots and you start, like, writing down promos on freaking, on desk, and I'm just
like when I was away from the company, like, when I was injured, when I tore my ACL, and I wasn't in the company, I couldn't act, I was going nuts. I didn't want to watch on TV because it would make me miss it and rush my rehab and screw everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was going crazy. Like, I was shaving my beard that I didn't have, like, 4 times a day. Like I would get up with my crutches and just like hobble over to the mirror and just start shaving, and I was like, wow, this is pretty pathetic. There's like nothing on my face to shave. It's really bad, especially when you leave the company on bad terms like he did.
Oh yeah.
And like I did a couple of those times. It's pretty miserable. Because you think about the what ifs.
Right. Like what if that didn't happen? What if this didn't happen?
Yeah, like what if I didn't do that? What if I did more with what I could have done?
Right. Like,
what if I asked to do this and they granted it? What if I didn't complain about this? What if, it's really a lot that you have to, go through in your mind when you're not there.
And then you have to see people like take your feuds and your storylines too, because they have to give them to someone else.
Yeah, like when I left over Zach, because like that whole Zach bullshit, and like I was the only one seeing through that bullshit. Like, I don't know how people didn't see this bullshit, but I did, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I went home and I'm like, wow, did I really just let Zach get to me that much? And then I was like, I'm not gonna like just go back the next day because that would be stupid. And so I just took my time off, re-cooperated. But like during that time, it was just like, wow, should I tune in? I was like, no, and it was just it's a constant battle in your head.
Right, it is. It's like a war. Like I said, it's like fighting an addiction. It's like I've never fought an addiction before, so I wouldn't know. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, fighting an addiction sucks, but still.
yeah, I can imagine it does. But it's like when I got injured, that shoulder injury, I was just like, I was trying to hide it at first. Like on the Raw after Mania, I was just trying to hide that shit. I was walking around backstage. Like after Mania, I knew I was injured. And like the doctor knew I was there. I was like, please don't tell Alan about this. He told Alan literally after I told him not to tell Alan. But I thought for like a whole day and a half, I thought that I was like slick. I was walking around like my arm was fine and my shoulder was fine. And then Alan was just like, I know you're injured. I'm just like, oh, well.
Yeah, when I tore my ACL, I think it was I forgot who my opponent. I want to say Brock Lesnar, but I'm not too sure. But when I tore my ACL, and like I had to play it off and go backstage, like I didn't, because I really was like, I loved the company too much because this was my first comeback run.
Yeah, dude,
Like after
we all saw it. We all saw it. It's so brutal. Like,
yeah,
it
because like I
buckled.
beat Triple H, and I was like the fans were getting behind me again, and then like I faced Brock Lesnar, and we had a great match, and he won, and then I knew that I did something really bad to my leg
Mm-hmm.
because I think it was I jumped off the top ropes and he rolled out of the way, and I tried to land on my legs,
Right.
turn around, and then like I landed so bad, and I knew like right then, so I just told him to F5 me and get it over with, and then I struggled backstage. I'm the worst at playing off injuries, so Alan walks up to me, he's like, "What happened out there, man?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing, nothing," and then he's like, "Oh, so can you get up and walk for me?" And then that's when I was like, "Alan, I'm fucked." Because I didn't want to walk. I just wanted to sit. Because after you tear your ACL and then you sit down,
Yeah.
you
Oh.
can't walk anymore.
Yeah. Like.
Like right after you tear your ACL and stuff, you can walk. Like it hurts, but you can walk. Like the moment you stop walking and the pain starts, it's bad.
Right. Like.
And I think getting injured and having to sit out of even any sport is worse than a drug addiction, honestly.
By the way, when you go off that top turnbuckle, you gotta roll. Like when someone dies, you have to roll.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because I try to do stupid athletic shit all the time. I tried to like catch myself on my feet, and
Yeah.
I felt it as soon as I landed.
I only do that like once in a while because I know how risky it is. But usually I just like roll. I roll. I use my knees and I roll. And then I get
The
up and
face
just
I
pop.
made, the face I made when I landed and realized I tore my ACL was a meme for like 3 days until people realized I tore my ACL.
Oh my god! Like, oh, like yeah, it does suck though when you're sitting on the sideline, just like, especially in high school when I used to do the freaking. Well, no, it was in middle school. I used to do the football stuff, and they used to have me sitting on the sideline like all the time for some reason. And
Yeah,
they would have me. I'd have to show up too and just like sit there. I'm just like, why?
right.
Stupid. Sit on the bench for like fucking 120 minutes for what?
And every
Jesus
single
Christ.
day, you're like, when you're used to like going and working out and eating
Oh my
a certain
God.
way,
Yes, it's so
and
hard.
you're sitting there and thinking and thinking, and yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like it's so hard to. That's why when I was getting ready to come back, and I knew, like before I even asked anybody, I was like alluding to it because I was like posting pictures from the gym, and I would just start working out, and then I asked Alan, then he said no, then I asked Anthony, Anthony said yes, and that's when they had their whole argument about me
Yeah.
coming back. But yeah, it's hard to get back into that routine too when you first come back. It's really hard to get back into that routine.
And when I tore my ACL, it was the summer
Yeah,
too.
well, yeah, it was the summer. It was in August.
That's when I can like run outside and like run across the beach and like working out in the summer is amazing.
Right.
And I literally had to sit there like in my bed with a TV, a PS4 controller, Netflix, all that stupid shit that gets old after a while, and just not do anything.
Right. Right. Fuck
And then I'm like, yo, Alan, can I like start my rehab? He's like, no, you have like a certain amount of time. And then when I was finally ready to start my rehab, it was like little shit, like walking on the treadmill and, you know, doing stupid like fucking leg stretches. And
you.
it was a pretty stupid time.
Like like and you get kind of used to traveling all the time too, like you get really used to it.
Yeah, and you're just home
Yeah,
alone.
I like that, like, to be honest with you, like I hated, like, when I first went home, I hated it, but like after a while when I got used to it, then I started loving it. But at first it was just like, I hate being home. I like doing
Yeah, I like
I like
being
yeah, like
dog.
traveling on the road and meeting new people every night, and meeting new people, and like you know doing all the media appearances and the Jimmy Fallons and the no, I hate Jimmy Fallon though, but like the freaking Jon Stewarts and all those talk show things, like that's what I like to do. I just hate like sitting home and watching everybody do everything. Like,
I don't know. You hate Jimmy Fallon? I mean, I hate how every talk show host talks about Donald Trump like that. But like,
he touched Donald Trump's hair,
yeah.
and like
But,
he does this. I don't hate him because of that. I hate him because he does like this fake laugh. And
oh
I
my
don't I don't
God,
know.
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if he noticed he's doing it, but he does
He
like
was
this
really
fake
cool in my interview, but like, yeah, that laugh is just that laugh is bad because he's really fun to
laugh.
interview with.
But yeah, but I just like, yeah, he asks like really interesting questions that has me dying. But like when I say something, he says this fake laugh that makes me want
He's
to
like,
punch him in the yeah, it makes me want to punch him in the face. I'm
I'm
like,
like, oh, come on, man.
I'm like, just don't laugh at, just chuckle at least, like do a little chuckle, like a snort, like
He's only probably my favorite because like the other ones, like he spends like 50 seconds talking about Donald Trump. These other guys spend like
an entire monologue. They be doing
like
monologues. Ooh,
10 minutes talking about it. I'm just like, shut the fuck
fuck
up and
up,
just get going with your show because this
right?
is pissing me off.
Like, damn, like I don't even watch late night talk show unless I'm on there. I'm just like, all right, call me out now because I'm tired of this politics stuff.
Yeah, like
Whenever
John
whenever
Fallon.
they ask me about freaking politics in these interviews, I just make a joke and avoid it. I'm just like, well,
Yeah, I love politics, but like you can't say something anything these days without like everyone just having an outrage.
yeah,
But like I'm like you, I just like shrug it off.
yeah. I'm just like, yeah. I just make a joke like Bernie Sanders is a communist or something like that, and then I just go on with like I really, it gets kind of annoying after a while. It really does. Like
Like
it's really
Jimmy
toxic.
Fallon, he's just like, yeah, well, Donald Trump said this, how it was funny. And then you have like Kimmel, and he's just like, well, Donald Trump said this, but back then he said this, and that negates this, and then his policies, and I'm like, oh my God,
He actually takes it to the next degree. He starts crying too. I'm just like,
yeah,
what the hell? That's embarrassing. Can you do that somewhere else? Like, what the hell? He airs his son's personal stuff on TV. I'm just like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
yeah,
Like, I would never do that. I would never go on live TV and be like, no, yeah, my son, healthcare. I'm just like, ugh. Like,
yeah. Like if any of my kids had anything wrong with them, I would just be like, don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it at all. I go through enough of it at home. I don't need everyone on social media blasting me about it.
right. And they really tried to get Alan with that stuff too, because Alan, he makes it no secret that he's a Republican. He makes it no secret at all. Like he donates to them. He helps them out with their campaigns. They always try to agree with Alan like, oh yeah, so Trump's policies are this, but you say this, and Alan just kind of looks at them. He gives him that stare.
Yeah, I've gotten that stare.
Alan just kind of looks at him, and then they instantly change. He's like it's like a mystical stare. It's like, all right, we got to change the subject now. And like Alan, like in some of the liberal fans of the WWE, because they exist. I don't know why you'll be watching this if you're a liberal though, because we do crazy stuff on here. Like we actually have like women versus men matches and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you about that later because that's in my notes. But yeah, and they really started giving Alan shit because Alan invited Trump to the Slam Awards. He invited him to WrestleMania. He invited him to SummerSlam.
And that stuff, like, I'm fine with it because I love politics. Like, backstage, we all talk about politics and,
Right,
like, what we think. No one bashes each other.
right.
Unless you're Zach and you have stupid opinions. But, like I love politics. I'm never going to talk to the media about it. But yeah, indeed, I love politics. I'm not Democrat or Republic. Every time I take those stupid tests, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And I don't like really care. Like I love Donald Trump. He's a pretty interesting personality. I mean, I've been on record saying I hate Hillary Clinton.
Right.
I've also been on record saying I liked Bernie Sanders, but like I just don't get it. Like I don't get the big deal about bashing Donald Trump and all this other stuff and why it matters who we like and if we're a Democrat, if we're a Republican.
Right. It's like everybody wants to know that now. It's just like, okay, who cares? It's like it's a personal thing, really. It's like,
Like, is that really gonna change your whole opinion about me?
oh, right. It's like we have a duty to vote, so whatever way we vote, at least we get it done.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, oh, it's so toxic. Especially nowadays, it's just mad toxic. Like literally, it's everywhere and everything now. So it's just like when like political figures appear on WWE TV, they don't make like big ass statements like, "All right, all the Democrats suck and all the Republicans suck." Like they don't do that. They just come on like Trump presented a slammy. He called Allen his best friend. Presented a slammy. He goes on there. He puts Allen over. He puts someone else over. He talks
And
to a
then people
heel.
on social media like, why the fuck is that pig on my TV screen? Like, come on, just watch the show for what it is.
Right? Or just like
Can't do anything political.
yeah, or like change the channel. Then you don't like no one's forcing you to watch it. Like change the channel until it comes back. Like damn, if it really bothers you that much, like I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, George Bush is gonna be on there soon. If you got feelings about
Yes.
George W. Bush, you got feelings about George W. Bush, then you know.
I remember that one time I met George Bush. He's a funny guy. I can't wait.
He's like good friends with the Big Show for some reason. I don't know why.
Even oh my god, like the best thing about it is like when someone like tries to say that he did 9/11, he just laughs at it.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a funny guy.
Because like I was like, hey George, how do you feel about 9/11? He was like, well, how do you feel about Zach Poe fucking your ex-wife? I'm like, what? And then he just like looked at me and just laughed, that George Bush laugh. I'm like, all right.
Oh my god! Wow. George W. So.
Yeah, the Paul Starr interview we were talking about before we somehow got to George.
We were talking about that Paul Starr interview. Yeah. I think you pretty much answered my question though about your feelings towards Paul Stargate. How he.
We have a couple of notes here from his interview, but yeah, I agreed with not being able to watch him. And he said he had to. I remember like people yelling at each other backstage. During my run, I have not had to do any of that.
Right.
Which I'm like so thankful because like most of our WWE champions, they've like even Wade Barrett, like they've had to like yell at somebody.
Right.
Like and this and that, and I have not had that moment yet. I know it's probably gonna come eventually, but I'm just glad it hasn't happened yet. And Paul started a lot of yelling.
He did do a lot of yelling. I wasn't even champion for long. I was champion for like a couple. I was champion for like 2 months, and then they randomly put you with me, like even though we were just fighting each other, and now we were like best friends.
Yeah.
We were like best friends, and then they took the title off and put it on McIntyre. I never had to yell at anyone. I just had to tell people, calm down, take it down a notch. Like it never escalated to yelling. But Paul Stars, he has a short fuse. He has a short temper because
Yeah.
he's been through a lot. Yeah, he's been through a lot. It's like a lot of mental wear. Like the kind of matches he was doing back then, like he just wasn't taking it from anybody.
Yeah, and like I don't know, this whole run for me so far has just been like I've enjoyed it. It's like it's just been one big party.
Right. It's been mad fun. Like it's literally the reason I pushed my coming back up. I'm like, oh fuck all that Rumble shit. I want to come back now. This is hot. Like I'm coming
Like
back.
I get to go out there, like just say fuck Japan and then apologize on social media. Well, like it's been a hell of a run. Like it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like addicting. Like it's gonna suck when I lose the title, but like it's just fun. I'm enjoying it while it's happening.
Yeah, because it's like
I'm not gonna go like pulling a Zach and like bitching when I lose it, and then I'm gonna just be like, all right, I'll try to get it back again.
Right.
And
because rotating.
When you're the WWE champion, you see WWE in a whole different aspect.
Right.
And then when you're at the top of the show, like you're the top person, you see it in a completely different way. And it's just, at first it was weird having all these people look up to me, but now it's just like, hey man, hell hey man, like everyone knows me. Like,
Yeah. It is. It's like Corey in the house up in here, man.
he said, Paul Star said something about Alan and the Adam situation that I totally agreed with. He was like, he didn't relate to the Adam Snyder, the mystical, magical vampire. I mean, I agree with that. I like Alan when he's Alan, like Doomsday Alan, Corporate Alan, everything that's not Adam Snyder.
Corporate Alan is probably my favorite Alan.
I don't know. I think mine was a Doomsday Alan because I think one of my favorite moments was when he Doomsday dropped Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was big for like That was the first time you could abuse a corporate person and get away with it.
Right.
Now it just happens every day.
Alan, yeah, Alan kind of just does what he wants now. His character kind of just does what he wants.
Right. And then, oh my God, you guys were talking about Savannah. I had the biggest crush on Savannah, and I still do. Like, she is just such a nice person, and it like rubs off on everybody.
She is. She brings the energy up in any room she's in, especially with her accent too. She brings that energy up. I love when Ashley mocks her accent, even though that used to be Ashley's accent too, because she grew up on a farm and she tries to pretend she didn't, but she did.
You changed her accent when she started hanging around Anthony.
Yeah.
That was funny when those two met. Like, watching Anthony actually go on dates was hilarious. Because, like, I was dating Addie at the time, and he would like be getting ready for this date, and he'd be like, Hayden, does my hair look good? Do I have anything on my tux? I'm like, oh my God.
That was weird for me because I hated him when I first met him. I thought he was like a dick when I first met him. I thought he was. I was just like, oh my God, this guy is gonna come into this family like he owns the fucking place. I almost wanted to punch him too, but Antonio smacked me in the face. So I don't know why Antonio smacked me, but his smacks hurt. I'm telling you guys, don't ever get smacked by Antonio.
Hey, he has heavy hands.
Yeah, he has heavy ass. I think they're heavier than Alan.
Fuck Conor McGregor, goddamn.
Right? Like killed Conor McGregor. I don't even know the update on that situation. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, they just took him, and like no one has updates.
Yeah, no one's telling us anything. Like
he has to show up at Survivor Series. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Savannah, man. If you're out there, like, no, I'm just kidding. But she was just like, because I remember like one time we went out to Buffalo Wild Wings. That was it.
Mm.
And like just listening to her stories and everything, she's just an amazing individual.
Right. And she was really herself. She got really over since her first match, she got really insanely.
Yeah, her debut match, I remember.
Yeah. Like she won the breakout star. I mean the rookie of the year. Like she won it. She was like the first woman to like outdo all the men in this rookie of the year category.
Right.
Like damn, that was big. And she kind of like, I mean, like obviously you had Ashley and Harley, and you had Brie Bella at the time. But I don't know, Savannah. I would kind of attribute to like the identity of the women's revolution to Savannah, because she really gave it. I don't think if she debuted, I don't think it would have been as big as it was, because she really gave identity. She gave it that like. It didn't really have that top face because all the women were like heels, like they all hated each other.
Yeah.
And they were all feeling so much like hate and regret. And then Savannah came and she was like this happy-go-lucky.
She was like the John Cena of the women's division.
Yeah, she's this John Cena type baby face, and it's just like I feel like the division really needed someone like that. And she got.
And really usually in the women's division, when you have people like that on TV, they're not like that backstage. She's like, whatever she was on TV, she was backstage.
Right. And
like she was just so nice, like. I'm just mad I never got to, like, flirt with her, like, because normally I flirt with everyone I see, but, like, she was different. Like, you had, like, different. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, we started like hanging out like because you know how Alan's kind of old school. So like when you're paired with someone on screen, like a manager or a female or something,
Yeah.
you have to travel with them. You have to go out on dates with them. You have to do all this stuff with them. And they were talking about putting me in the storyline with Savannah and Ashley, and like I was gonna play like Savannah's new
I would be
bae.
so hyped.
Yeah, I was gonna play Savannah's new bae as she was feuding my sister, and I was just like, and they
That
were
would have
like,
been a cool storyline.
yeah, it would, but I didn't. I kind of rejected it after a while, not because of like Savannah. Like it was fun hanging out with Savannah. I would have fucking did it if it was anybody else though, because I didn't want to. If it was like their second feud, but that was like their WrestleMania feud. I didn't want to get
Oh
involved
yeah,
in that.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to cramp their style because they had like a freaking. They've been building that all freaking season. I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna cramp their style at all. I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Chad got involved. He can get involved though, because he's Chad. He wasn't really doing anything at Mania anyway.
Chad.
But I was doing stuff at Mania. I was like, no, this is gonna become a little discombobulated. So I was like, you guys do your thing. If you guys ever do a feud again, we can do that, and it can add some tension to it. But yes,
We need Savannah back.
yeah,
Like,
we need Savannah back. Like, this. Maybe Melissa can like take her place as like that top baby face. I don't know.
right.
Melissa's good too. I like Melissa. She's a firecracker.
Yeah, we need women like that. But like,
Lots of women like that.
but I know what you were gonna ask me about Ashley Snyder and the whole WWE Champion thing.
Yeah, how'd you know? That was literally I was gonna ask you about
I'm assuming it's in both of our notes.
Yeah, I said the mixed tag matches, like and female versus male matches.
All right. So at first I was like,
Wait a minute. Stop looking over at my notes. Get out of here.
What?
Stop looking over at my notes.
Well, how about you just fucking cover them up better?
All right. Okay, go ahead. God.
Right. And then all right. So my opinion about at first it was weird, like it was different. Because like WWE had always had this, president where, it's just men and women and then, you had the occasional China or the occasional Beth Phoenix, but like WWE hadn't done anything like that for a long time. And then you just had this random, like it wasn't even random, they were building it up well.
Yeah.
And then, when Ashley won the W Championship, I was actually kind of hyped.
Right.
Like, but like, it was weird backstage because no one wanted to tell their opinion about it because everyone felt like if they had a negative opinion about it, they would get slaughtered. If they had a positive opinion about it, people would still get slaughtered because like the back room was so 50-50 on it that you really just couldn't talk about it. You just let it happen. And I think that, yeah, like, you had people like, Zach Poe and Jay Carter that didn't like it. And then, like me, I secretly liked it. And I would pitch ideas to the creative, even though they didn't listen to me whatsoever. Because I was that guy. And yeah, I thought it was cool, Ashley being the WWE champion. I never questioned it.
Yeah,
At first it was weird because it was just different.
yeah, like whenever something like really different happens, it takes a while to like adjust to it. But yeah, I was kind of shocked that it happened, but I was really hyped that it happened because it's like it's history, man. Like the big thing WWE prides itself on is that anything can happen in the WWE.
Yeah, that started a social media debate too.
Yeah, that started I don't know. I didn't.
That even made like the world
first time, dude. For the first time in my life, yeah, that went mainstream too. Like that was like she got an award for it, some women's acceptance award. I was like, what the hell is going on? Where did all these guys
running
come
for the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is going on? It's a scripted show. What are you guys talking about? Where all these people come from? And for the first time in my life, I was siding with like the freaking crazy feminists. I was like, okay, the world is just flipped upside down. Like I was actually defending the feminists. I was like, all right, well, this is different. All right, you guys just gotta deal with it. Like,
right.
It's like it's not like her matches were bad either. She was putting on 5-star. She was putting on better matches than Zach and Jay Carter combined. So
yeah,
there's that.
That was a pretty crazy time.
Yeah.
In the WWE, because like there was people that would like bash her nonstop, but I think there was more people that like supported her more than anything.
Right. Cause
She
they,
got
cause
she got to meet like fucking Barack Obama.
right.
Like that was a wild time in her life. But like
Right.
I was just like clapping like the whole time. Like just I think majorly is because Zach didn't like it and he was fuming so much about it. I was like, Zach, not everything goes your way, pal.
I would ask her where she was, and she would text me like she would be next to a new person, like she would be next to the Pope or somebody. I'd be like, "What the hell is going on?" She would send me a selfie of her and the Pope just chilling. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?"
Had people rioting outside of the WWE headquarters. Like we had to shut down operations for a week because
Yeah.
there was people saying like females shouldn't be the WWE champion, and then like a whole other group came out of nowhere and they were like all feminist and shit, and then like there was like that big brawl, and I'm like, wow, Alan really had to shut down for a whole week to
Yeah.
like get that to stop,
I was like, damn, I never got any of this kind of attention when I became champion. Jesus
right?
Christ.
Like,
Imagine when an actual like black guy becomes champion, like heeless. Jesus Christ.
right?
Imagine what's gonna happen. You're gonna have the KKK versus Allen.
Like when
Woo!
Shelton Benjamin was WWE champion for like a week.
Yeah. Up until like the first off-season pay-per-view, which is literally like 2 days later. I was like,
Man,
oh,
like
poor
for
Shelton.
me, like as WWE champion, I'm only like I'm in the running for like end of the year awards and shit like that, but nothing else.
Yeah, when.
Flash meeting like the president, and he even had an interview with the Russian president for some reason. Like I don't know why the U.S. let her go to Russia and hang out with Vladimir Putin, but
I was like, what? She's gonna go to. I know she went to South Korea and Japan. I don't know if she touched North Korea. I hope she
oh my god, that would have been ridiculous.
I hope she didn't touch North Korea because you saw that movie, The Interview, man.
Yeah,
I ain't touching no North Korea, man.
James Franco. But yeah, I liked it. It was cool. And then he talked about politicking. He was glad that politicking is over. I don't know if he said that or it was you, but
I think
like,
both of us kind of mutually agreed to it, but
yeah,
we agreed that politicking in some cases is necessary.
it's necessary. But like, I'm glad that like the whole backstage isn't politicking anymore.
Right, right,
Because that's hard when there's like people like me, and then other people that have like a lot of pride to not do something like that. It's like it would be so different if that was still like a theme or a concept. Because then you have like Zach and Jake, like the world champions,
yeah,
because they
because
politic the most.
it's like a freaking it's like
Well,
a
no, Jake, my
competition.
bad.
It's like a goddamn competition. Like everyone's fighting for
And it's just
basically.
stressful, and it's just so bad backstage.
Yeah, and everybody, it spills over into personal stuff. I'm just like, ugh, like
Yeah,
why? Just why? I don't know.
it's just so like stressful to politic. Like I tried for like a little bit, and then I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm I'm just done. Went out against Zach at Extreme Rules, and we'll get back to that later. But I was just so done. It's stressful. It's tiring. It's annoying. It's really bad to listen to.
Right, right.
Like it was a chore to just come to work.
In that interview, we also talked about like the toll that wrestling takes, and I have it in my notes here. How much longer do you think you were gonna wrestle? Like, I know you addressed it in your interview with Ellen, but
I don't honestly like. I'm gonna force myself to stop at 35 if I don't stop earlier than that.
hmm
I know that's an early age, but like it does take a toll on you mentally. And
right,
like he said about wanting to like drink and do drugs or whatever. I that's how I felt most of the time. Besides this WWE reign, like after I just wanted to go home and just drink after drink after drink after drink
right.
after drink. And then like I don't know, like people notice because I am a recovering alcoholic. I would just like, where's my drink? Where's my drink? Where's my drink? Where's my drink? And that's like, because that's the only thing that was like stress relief.
Right,
Like you have to be addicted to wrestling more than you want to be addicted to anything else to not want to do that stuff when you're not doing it.
right. You have to, yeah, you have to. It has to be like your number one. It has to be
Yeah.
really your only focus. Wrestling has to be your only focus.
Because like when it's not, you get like caught in your head, like you just want to drink and drink and drink,
Mm-hmm.
and that really like Alan like noticed that, and he was like, Hayden, you're going overboard. I don't want to release you, but I'm gonna have to suspend you for a little bit just so you can get yourself together. And then that was pretty eye opening. I was at the lowest of my lows, and it's really bad. Like when mentally you're just not there in wrestling.
Right. Well, because Alan used to go down the same road before he left.
Right.
That's why they had to release him, because he was just like, he was doing all these steroids and these drugs and.
Oh my god, steroids suck. I tried it once. I
Like,
tried it. I did try it once. I'm gonna admit it right here on this podcast. I tried it once, and it was the worst thing I've ever done.
I mean, he did it because he had to fight like this neck injury that was like
Right.
eluding him so freaking much, and he had to, at some point, Vince was just like, all right, we gotta let you go, Alan. I'm sorry, like they
That's
literally had to force him to retire. Like
that's what
obviously he went to Ring of Honor, but he couldn't wrestle in WWE anymore.
because I was showing up hungover. Like after my match, I would just immediately go backstage and make myself a drink. I would I would go home and drink more. I would like the girlfriends that I had at the time would just like not be able to connect with me because whenever I wasn't wrestling, I would be drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was rough. That was definitely a rough time of my life. Where like, and then getting over that was pretty tough. But like, once you do get over that, it's great.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've never been there before, but I know people who have.
It's like yeah, now I don't like drink as often. I drink on like special occasions.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just drink.
It feels better to drink when you're enjoying it and
Mm-hmm.
not because you feel like you have to.
Right. You don't feel
Like
obligated to do it.
I felt obligated. Like it was just like every day. Like whenever something either went wrong or whenever I had nothing else to do, I would just be like drink, 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 drink. I
Yeah.
think like the point where Alan saw there was something wrong was like I would just be snapping like every second. Like I would just be yelling or something because I didn't have a drink in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would be like, "Oh, can you like say this in your promo?" And I'd be like, "Why? Why do I have to do that?" And then Alan would be like, "All right, slow your roll or whatever." But it just got to the point where I was just negative, and Alan was just like, "Oh, you have to go home." And then he sent me home, and then like I like broke down, and then the next day Alan was like, "Look, I'm not giving up on you, man. I'm sending you to a rehab right away. You're gonna get over this." And that's when me and Alan started to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Because he helped, because he was like, I've been through this. Now you're gonna get through this, and
Right.
you're gonna come back the greatest you can be. And then that was like eye opening for sure.
Right. Because Alan looks after you. He does. He looks after. Like when he notices, like it can be like a random job, or Alan will have you taken care of. Like it just be someone who's like.
I remember like V. Brian Kendrick. He was like he went through this depressing stage, and like Alan for some reason just became his best friend. I was like, all right.
Like, okay, Alan. Like, yeah, he's a good guy though. Well, both of them are good guys. Alan's a good guy too.
Yeah, like that one time I tried steroids. I don't know how some of these people do it. Cause like I don't know if it's just my body that reacted to it the wrong way, but that one time when I got that really bad concussion, I
Hmm.
tried to like I tried to use a steroid to get over it, and like the first time I tried it, it was bad. Like I was throwing up. I was trying to move 24/7. I was I forgot they diagnosed me with something, and then the doctor was just like, yeah, steroids is an option, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I didn't listen to the I wouldn't recommend it part because I just wanted to get right back into the ring.
Right.
And so I tried it, and it was just bad. Like it just gave me this negative rush of energy. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Hmm.
But it was pretty awful. So I don't get how people can get addicted to something like that. It's it really is bad.
It happens. I mean, some people just like seeing their balls shrink. I guess I have no idea. Some
But
people.
like you feel this rush of energy, and it's just awful.
Yeah, that's your testicles shrinking, my man. What it is. That's what. What else could it be? That's what it is. That negative sensation, my man.
Like, cause like Zach used to use steroids, and I didn't understand. Like, 'cause, like there would be, you know what I'm talking about. There would be that group of guys
Hmm.
that would go and actually all do steroids together,
Yeah, in the bathroom, I'm just like,
as if it was a fucking thing to go celebrate and do with your friends.
I'm just like, wait, why are we all in the showers doing this right now? What the hell is this?
Yeah, I would just like sometimes I would just like follow just so I could talk to these people. Like, and then I would just watch. I'm like, why are they doing it all together and like laughing and celebrating it? I'm like, okay,
Oh
whatever.
god.
But yeah, I'm scared of what happened to Allen, like with his, neck injury
Hmm.
and that intense training he did and all of that to happen to him would happen to me. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah, that's the biggest fear for me as well. Just
And
like
I
I just see Alan, I'm just like, oh, I don't want that to be me. Like, I mean, I'm not as strong as Alan, so I know he can deal with it. I can't. I'm not as strong as Alan.
I don't want to have because what he has to do now is he has to put on match of the year candidates every time he gets in the ring.
Right.
I don't want to have to be in the position to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to have like all these injuries. I don't want to have all that stress on me. I don't like. He is like. How old is he now?
He's somewhere in his. I think he's like 49 now.
Yeah, I don't want to be 49 still doing this.
Right.
Like I want to actually like family. I want to be like a family first guy eventually.
Hmm.
Like I don't want this whole company to revolve around me. Like it's just it's a lot what he actually does goes through.
Yeah, it's
But
a lot of people don't realize it, but yeah, I don't want to be in that position either, where every time I go out it has to be like a freaking 5-star epic spectacle.
yeah, you're just killing yourself just for like
Yes. Sometimes you
other
just want to
people.
go out there and have like a chill ass match and just go backstage, like.
Right, and then go backstage and just have some laughs and stuff.
Right. Like you don't want to have to like every time whenever there's a main event or he's in like a co-main event. Usually when I'm in a co-main event, it's do the main event, do the co-main event, either go backstage and like chill or go home or go back to the hotel and watch from there. With Allen, it's just like if he's in like in a co-main event and definitely when he's in a main event, when he comes backstage, it's like instant collapse, instant pass out, instant.
Yeah, like instant he has to be checked out by the doctor, given some kind of medication,
Yeah, it's like
injecting some kind of liquid in him that would calm him down. Like not like a drug, but like morphine or some dumb
right.
shit like that. Like something so that he doesn't like have a heart attack or something like that. That's not what I want. Like I want
Yeah.
to be able to like actually normally sit down with my family and have a dinner
Right.
without like, oh, my head hurts or oh, I have to take 6 medications a day.
Right. Like that, I definitely agree with you in your interview with Ellen there, especially with kids coming. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I can't do that. Like
I want to be able to like properly parent them, not like because when he had that neck injury, I mean, that was huge. Like that
right,
changed the sports world a little bit
right,
because like he literally broke his neck, and like that's tough. Like he was literally laying in a bed for like what did they say like 2 years?
yeah,
Like that is definitely not something I want to do.
yeah. It's just not. That's not like from 2000 to 2002. He was literally in the hospital.
Like just laying there.
Yeah, it was just like, and then he had to do home care with because Antonio had to start taking care of him.
Like I wish like Allen just like ended it like right there. Like he said, all right, I'm done with wrestling because now he's back and it's just he puts on great matches, but it's disgusting to see him afterwards.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and he
Like
knows it too.
and like when we're in long meetings, he literally like he has to rush out of the room to go take his medicine. Like
Right. Or
and
he'll start dozing off.
it's yeah, it's really just I can't even like get deep into it because it's a scary thing.
Yeah, it is. Like people don't realize, but like if you're in a meeting with Alan and he starts shifting around, he's not just doing it. Like he's he's like getting from one painful place to another and directly to another part of his body.
Yeah,
It's like
he can't sit down for too long, but when he's forced to in the meetings, and then he has to like get up and literally rush out of the room to go find
right,
his medication.
right, and there'll be some dude sitting outside the room with the bottle just waiting for him. And he takes it
Right.
real quick, and then he comes back in. He talks to Anthony, and then we get back to the meeting. It happens every time.
And then like especially when I'm in the meetings, like I'm just like scared. Like, what if Alan like passes out or something?
Right.
And then like, oh my God,
Like that.
I don't want that to be me.
Like if it's like you said in your interview with Ellen. If AJ wants to wrestle, I will let him. I prefer if he just acted, not
Right, like
wrestle.
whatever my kids want to do, I'll be like, okay, but I'm never
Yeah.
gonna let them get to a point where they're killing themselves over it.
Yeah, that would never be that would never be me. Like I would just be like, all right, now we have to pull you out of here. Like if I was Chad, I would be like, we have to pull you, but I'm not Chad. I think Alan's strong though, so I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna tell him. Well, I'm gonna tell him what not to do, but I'm not gonna force him, I guess.
Right.
That's just Alan. I don't know why, but there was like this huge concern, like him going into his match with Okada. There was like this huge concern about he was gonna like die in the middle of a match, and it was like this activist group. They just started like spamming him on Twitter, and they were like, and they were DMing all of the entire Snyder family on Twitter. They were like, "You're gonna let your dad go out there and die in Japan?" I'm like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
Just
I
looking
remember
around,
that.
like I'm looking around, like what the hell? I start blocking all these activist groups, and then Alan gets on TV and tells him to fuck off.
Like I remember his. I forgot. There was one match when he came backstage, and he had to be like rushed right to the hospital because like it was like an hour-long match. It was like this real extreme, brutal match.
I think it was his Japanese death match with Paul Starr.
Yeah, yeah, Paul
Yeah,
Starr. And like as soon as he came backstage, they had to rush him to the hospital immediately. And like people thought like he was not going to be okay after that. And the next day he walks in fine, like, oh hey guys. I'm just like I wish he would just retire.
yeah.
But at the
Like
same time, he's going to be doing this until he actually dies in the middle of the ring.
yeah, like when you actually see him back and fine, it's like a sigh of relief, but at the same time, it's like bittersweet kind of. It's like, well,
Right?
he's here, but he's still not retired, so you know it's gonna happen again. It's like, ugh. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't even know why he did that Japanese death match. I was like, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, like he just kills himself in the
Yeah,
ring.
I'm like, what do you have to prove anymore? You've done it all. What do you have to?
Everyone appreciates you. They recognize you as one of the greatest things to happen to wrestling.
Right. Like they know this, Alan. Like you don't have to. Come on, Dad. You don't have to do
And
all
then
that.
he just insists like, "Oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it." And then yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like I know even Paul Starr felt bad after the match because Paul Starr got it bad after that match too. He was
Right.
really hurt after that match.
Yeah. He didn't have to be rushed to the hospital, but he was pretty fucked up after that match.
Yeah, he was like he was really messed up. Like, and he was kind of like the mini Allen back then because he was like
Right.
he was doing it every single week. Like he was doing it like literally every not even every week. It was like because the 5 days a week stuff. He used to be on the ECW house shows doing it. All
And
these extreme matches like extreme rules matches and hardcore matches and steel cage matches like 5 days a week. I'm just like,
Ray, like every time I have a hardcore match, like it takes me like hours to like recuperate
right.
and recover from that. And like that's why when they ask me like, "Oh, hey, do you want to do this match and that match?" Sometimes I deny because like it's really scary.
Right, and Allen and Star, they don't blade a lot. They actually like let you bust them open half the time.
Yeah, I blade. Fuck that.
Yeah, I blade. I'm not doing all that. I'm not getting actually
I'll take
busted.
that little pain over some real ass bleeding because
Right.
ever since I got that concussion, like my whole mindset has changed about injuries. Because like that concussion was rough for a month. I'm just like passing out when I don't want to, and like all that. And I just realized then I was like, yeah, this is definitely not going to be something I want to get used to. Because Allen gets like concussions almost every match he's in,
Mm-hmm. I
and
know it
that one
happens.
concussion just did me in. I'm like, no, I'm not.
It happens to Kobe a lot. He forgets Seth. Not a lot of people know his real name,
Yeah,
but it happens to him a lot because he gets when he gets concussions, he has like memory loss, and like sometimes he'll forget like a spot. Like we'll be in a tag. I remember one time we were in a tag match,
bro.
and it was a tag match we planned a week earlier, but he got a concussion in that week, and he didn't tell anybody. He was still kind of working, and at first I didn't think it was that serious because we didn't really think it was that serious, and we were working a match at a live event. And we were calling the spots earlier, like a few days earlier, and then I was like, it was time to do the spot with the Dudley boys, and he like completely forgot to do the spot. I was like, I was like, hello, and I explained it to him. He's like, what are you talking about? What spot? And I was just like, yeah, I gotta tell Alan. So after that match, I went back to it. I was like, yeah, Seth has a concussion, Alan. And
Right.
him and Seth had like a long conversation. Like I didn't see Seth for the rest of the night. Alan was like, all right, let me talk to Seth for a minute. I didn't see Seth for the rest of the night. I don't know what they even talked about. But Alan takes it really seriously because he knows it. Like he knows the pain.
Yeah, and when you're having it like every match like Alan does.
Yeah, and sometimes it's that adrenaline. It's like you don't even feel the pain when you're on pumped out on adrenaline until after, and then it hits you. It's like that was me at WrestleMania. Like I popped my shoulder like in the middle of the match, but I didn't actually like feel it until Seth freaking pushed me into the casket, and I was like laying there for 5 minutes. And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, like after having that one, you'll notice like I just protect my head every time, like even more than usual.
Yeah.
Because like I never want one of those again.
That's why I like working with Triple H. He does it for you.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that.
Yeah.
That was great. He's really great to work with in the ring.
He literally covers your head before he punches. He grabs your head, covers it, and then punches his hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
And like, cause you're just waiting for like the actual punch that you're facing other people, and then that happens. Cause like I remember, I think at like SummerSlam he did, and I just like smiled. Yeah, I can't, cause like when Alan after his match with Paul Starr, when he had to be rushed to the hospital, like everyone backstage was there, like watching, and like that was one of our best events, and it ended like that.
Right.
Like everyone was just standing there watching, speechless. No one could like say anything. And then like we all like a bunch of us just went and talked about like just in general, like, oh, what are we gonna do? This and that. Like people thought Alan was like gonna die.
Yeah, yeah. It was like mad cat. People thought that was it. They were like, all right, well, Alan might not be making out of this. Like, and
like Ashley was crying, and she never cries.
And she never cries. She really does not cry. And she was actually crying, and Anthony was like all quiet.
Anthony was speechless, and he always talks.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. He was all quiet. He had nothing to say. I was just like, well, what are we gonna, what's gonna happen here? Like, what happens if it does happen? Like,
yeah, I was there during that like conversation.
We had to get Vince up in there. We were like, Vince, you're gonna take the company back? Like, what the hell is going on?
And then like just the next day, Alan's checked out. And he's like, "Oh, hey guys," like nothing ever happened.
Right? Looking at him for a long time when he came into that meeting. I looked at him for a long ass time.
I just rolled my eyes and walked away. He got pissed at me for it, but I was just like, "Come on."
It was so I guess he didn't realize how dramatic it was backstage. Everybody was mad. Like everybody was so like upset.
Right. Like everyone just watched him walk in, and he's like, "Oh, hey guys."
I'm like, Alan, you had everyone scared. You had everyone scared for like the whole like freaking 24 hours. You had everybody like scared out of their minds. Like what?
Just got rushed to the hospital.
Right.
Everyone left there speechless.
And like it was like all the dirt sheets were going nuts. Like they were like, "Oh, Alan Snyder he's in critical condition." I'm just like,
yeah, there was like a couple of updates on my phone, like Alan in critical condition. And then I literally had to rush to your house to like, oh my God, did Alan say anything to you? And then you were like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, oh, well, these stupid fucking Bleacher Report. And then I would go back home and then get the update like 2 hours later, like Alan's family considering
come back to my house again.
Yeah, at like 4 in the morning, like, wait, are you pulling Alan off life support? And then you're like, hey, dude, he's not even on life support. And I'm like, all right, I'm going home. Yeah.
Yo, those rumor sites, they over exaggerate a lot of stuff, man.
They really do.
Like they really just over exaggerate.
They didn't want to report once about the bus story.
Are we talking about the Indian bus story?
Yeah. That was the best moment of my life.
Yeah.
Because Jericho consulted with me before he did it. He was like, because I remember you said like he went to the back of the bus or whatever, and then I was just there. He's like, "Yo, Hayden, you think I should do this? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, look. I'm like, oh my God, who is that? He's like, that's Zach. I'm like, oh no, yes, do it. And I'm just like, I just got so hyped. And then like,
Oh my god, yeah.
and then it
Oh my
became a
god.
meme, and oh my God.
Oh, didn't you fight one of those Indian taxi drivers that came into the bus? He literally some Indian taxi driver rams into the side of the bus, and then Hayden gets out the bus and starts shouting at him. He jumps on the guy's hood and like
Yeah, and
starts
I'm like
pounding
hitting his window.
him like a monkey. Like, and then all these Indians started pulling him off. They were shouting in like freaking Punjabi at him.
Cause like that guy, like Indians don't know how to drive, man. Like I'm not trying to be racist, but Indians don't know how to drive. Cause like I swear to God, we swerved so much in that bus.
Bro, we had to get Great Khali out there to save you. They were all shouting at you like Khali. Khali jumps out the bus. I'm just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, he had to talk to them in their language because none of us knew it.
Well, John Cena knew a little bit of Punjabi, but I don't even know where he was. I think he was in the front with Alan.
But oh my
Like-
God, that bus story, like no one let that go for Zach for a good amount of time, and then he left the company because of it.
They still haven't let it go.
Oh my
They
God.
still have not.
They
let
don't.
that
No one
go.
talks about it. Like it's like such a sin to talk about it online.
Right? Like none of the rumor sites even reported. Like, I remember there was like one report I think on like No DQ, but it was like very vague. It was some like Zach has an altercation with Chris Jericho.
Yeah, and then that was it. Like it wasn't no detail. Like when Seth Rollins nudes, like that was huge detail.
Right? I was like, everyone's all on my best friend's ass, but Zach, no, nothing happens with Zach.
Like I remember someone did a shoot promo, and like for like No DQ or one of those sites,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tried to bring that up, and like the guy like completely like skipped over him. Like, is it really that much of a sin to talk about it?
Right? They'll talk about Alan almost on his deathbed, apparently. Like looking at
Yeah, but
looking
like just a simple Zach Poe dick pic.
like they'll be like Alan they'll be like Grim Reaper arrives in Alan's hospital room. But they won't be like, Zach's dick pics leaked by Chris Jericho. It's
Yeah,
like damn, I was surprised when like everybody was like, I never heard of this story when I first got the responses on the podcast. They were like, I never heard of this story. Like people on Twitter were like, wow, I never heard of that story. Like, wow, that's really how it got leaked. I'm like,
great.
yeah, I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Do you guys mean you never heard of this story? That was the first time I heard about it being like under wraps. I'm just like, what the hell? I thought everybody knew how. I know a lot of people knew it got leaked. I don't know. I didn't know that nobody knew how it got leaked. I was like, okay.
That was great. Oh
Yeah,
my,
that
that
was
whole
great.
Indian trip was just amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I
It
told
was
Alan
amazing.
so many times. Like I remember, like I took this. For some reason, he bought a boat in India. This is another example of how he's just stupid with his money. And then like I took it and like sailed into the middle of the ocean. And,
Yeah.
like I think it was one of his WCW DVDs that he like cherishes. I pretended to throw it over because I bought a second copy of it. 'Cause his had like a signature from everyone that was on the roster at the time.
Yeah.
I think it was his last program there, and I had a copy of that, and I like threw it in the ocean.
That was when he fought Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, and I threw it into the ocean, and then like he immediately called me because I posted on social media. And he was like, "You better get your ass back here with my boat! How dare you throw my shit into the ocean!" And oh my God, he did that stupid yell that Paul Starr talks about, like, "Whoa!" like that kind of yell. And,
The functional retard yell. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
he's like, "Oh, Hayden!
Oh.
Oh, what are you doing?" Like,
Oh my god. Woo.
but
Oh yeah, that Indian trip was like, oh my god, like that.
that was the stupidest trip I was ever on.
Right, like that entire trip, especially that bus ride on that particular night. I was like, I had to take steps to the back. I was like,
And it was just weird because like there's so many Indian Zach Poe fans.
right? Like, what is
In
with
the
the
USA, he
overabundance?
wasn't that over.
Right?
But
In
like we go to
India,
India and he's
he's
like the
getting like,
best thing since like
yeah, he's getting like roof-shattering pops. I'm like, well, that must be why, because like Indians love their dick pics and they love flashing their dick around. So like that must be it, right? Like they love sending porn to underage girls. I'm like, ugh, like
man, it was weird because like he comes out and because I think he faced John Cena in like a steel cage match or some shit in
yeah.
India, and like they just like lost their shit. Like there's people crying in the stands when Zach Paul came out. Like, what?
I was like, wait, what
Because I was
happened?
backstage with you, Anthony, Chris, and a whole bunch of other people, and we're just looking like because they zoom in on one fan literally like crying. Like she was just crying, and then like Zach Poe gave her a hug. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, damn.
I literally thought we like went back in time or something like that. I was like, wait, what year are we in again? Is this
I guess like the
2014?
police shit was like closing, and like he wasn't even that big in America anymore, and like these
Right.
people are just like, yeah, Zach Poe.
Like, I was just like, all right, well, I can't wait to get the hell out of India then. That's how it's gonna be.
It was just so doofy and different.
And like, they hated all the like, cause I think they still think like this is all like freaking legit. And they like hated all the heels. Like they were like throwing stuff. I think one person threw a stone. I remember they did that to Paul Starr. They threw a freaking stone or a brick or a shoe at him. Like, he talked about it in our interview. They were literally like throwing stuff
Yeah.
at him. I was like, no, I'm going, I'm gonna, they wanted me to come out through the freaking, because I think, no, I wasn't teaming with Seth, no, but they wanted me to come out like through the crowd, because they wanted me to cut a heel promo. I'm like, I'm not walking through this Indian crowd as a heel. Oh, hell no.
And they love comedy because I remember I think me and Jericho were trying to reunite our tag team at the time, and like it was like a one-time thing just for India.
Mm-hmm.
And like when me and Jericho were like a tag team, we're just stupid, and like they were just like it felt like a sitcom because like you heard the laughs.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys that dumb? Like,
It's India. I like going there, but once I get there, I just can't wait to leave. I'm like, oh fuck this.
man, nothing like Australia.
Yeah, Australia, dude.
That was the best trip ever.
Yeah, like every time we go there, like there's like so much to do, and we stay there for like way longer than we stay any other because we have to. Like people don't understand, like the off season to them is it's like long, but to us, we're literally at home for only like the first 2 months, month and a
Yeah.
half of the off season. But then we have to go to Australia and stay there from the day we get there all the way until after SummerSlam is done.
Right.
So like some
And it's
people,
like I didn't hate doing that either because Australia was just so inviting.
yeah, Australia, yeah, it's so fun. Like all the people there, they're like wild, crazy. They got some good ass steak. They got like, Ryan. I always stay at Ryan's mansion with his mom.
Yeah.
And she has like all these cats that I have to watch and take care. She has like fucking 20 cats with all. I remember all their names too. And she has a kangaroo.
What are their
named
names?
Joey.
No, just play.
She has a she has a she has a kangaroo named Joey, and yeah, she's just like the nicest person. Just
Yeah, I remember I got to meet a fucking whole kangaroo. I was shook because like I think me and Anthony went out to this fucking zoo. But like it wasn't a zoo, it was like this open land that they just call a zoo because there's a lot of animals.
Yeah.
And like Anthony's like, yo, Hayden, come over here. There's a kangaroo, man. I'm like, what? Why are you interacting with the kangaroo? The kangaroo's just like standing there, like staring at Anthony. And Anthony's just observing him, and I'm just shook. I'm scared. Like, what if this kangaroo just fucks us up?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the women. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, the
I won't even
Australian
get into that, but
Woo, right in the outback, baby. Oh yes. I like that. Ryan will hook you up, man. Ryan, he knows everybody in
that
Australia.
dude Ryan.
Like he has like he inherited his dad's company, and that's like the biggest company and one of the biggest companies in Australia.
Everyone in Australia knows him.
Yeah, like literally everyone in Australia knows him. Like he'll hook you. Like they'll be like, I'll go to Australia, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're with that WWE, right? So you're friends with Ryan." I'll just be getting like random gifts and random hookups and meeting some random people. I'll be shaking hands with billionaires. I don't even know they're billionaires. I'm like,
Right?
what the hell
Like
is this?
I went to some small restaurant and then I sat down and like got my food because every time I go to Australia, like, I would just randomly just like date some girl for like the whole time. But this girl's name was Aspen, and like, so we go to this restaurant, and like the waiter's like, "Oh my God, you're Hayden." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm hungry. I just want to eat." And then someone at like the other table like gave me this dirty look. I'm like, "Oh hey." He's like, "Hey mate, you'll never beat Ryan Nathan." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
You'll never beat Ryan Nathan.
Yeah.
Dude, and it was especially when we went there at the SummerSlam after Ryan won the title from Cena, like in the New Corp storyline.
Yeah.
Oh my, it was literally Ryan Nathan everywhere. Like
He has billboards,
right, like
fucking.
if WWE was an Australian based company, Ryan would definitely be the top star.
Oh yeah,
He would definitely be like
he'd be
they
like the WWE champion for like 8 years in a row.
right, like he would beat Bruno Sammartino. He would be like he's like the Hulk Hogan of Australia. Like everyone knows him. Like
Right.
his wife who just debuted on Raw 25. She runs an orphanage. His mom is like a philanthropist. She runs like a daycare, and like his whole family's just they're just like everybody knows the Nathan family. His dad was like a freaking
I
legend,
I wouldn't be surprised if he runs for president when he retires for Australia. He'd win convincingly.
right? He would win. Like he would win in convincing fashion. You're definitely right about that. And I usually talk to him about politics. He doesn't really like to get into politics a lot because of his company image, but
Yeah.
um if he did decide to get into politics, I mean,
He would win
yeah,
Australia in like convincing fashion.
yeah, he doesn't even have to. He like
He would just have to say hi, I'm running, and everyone would just like
they would vote for yeah, like it's crazy. Like
fuck Dr. Phil. Like it's all about Ryan Nathan.
it is all about like especially when we go to Australia, man. Like I don't know what it is, but Ryan
They're not big on
is
sports, and like their biggest star is Ryan Nathan.
yeah, that's literally their biggest claim to fame. He's the first ever Australian born World Heavyweight Champion, the first ever Australian born guy to main event WrestleMania. Like he represents them with like everything he does in this company. He's the first Australian to do it, really.
Right.
And it's crazy how over Ryan Nathan is. Like and like even as a like in Australia they see him as a like he's a heel, but they see him as a face. Like even in over here, like he's not like he's a heel, but he's like one of the most hated heels. Like he's one of the best heels. Like he gets like insane. I remember one time he was feuding he was feuding John Cena, and I guess they did an angle where he hit John Cena's dad, and then like this one brolic ass dude jumps over the barricade. He starts grabbing Ryan's hair, and then John Cena has to leap on both of them to save face and take them both out. Like John Cena literally did like a suicide dive. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, like oh my God. Speaking about that, when we were in Australia, the most recent time, and some stupid American that like because we have like not only do we travel with us, but like fans follow so that they can see
Yeah,
the shows.
yeah.
Australia, like one of the American fans was just like, "Oh, how is Ryan Nathan such a hero?" He's like, he hit John Cena's dad, and like this one Australian fan like kicked that guy's ass. Like he's like, "How? What do you mean, blah, 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 Ryan Nathan?" I'm like, "Oh wow." That guy literally kicked that scrawny dude's ass.
Australians are scary too. They're scary.
Yeah, they are.
Australia, like I thought it was gonna be like one place I really did not like visiting was freaking England because like
That,
it was so like compared to Australia is all sunny and it's like all outbacky and
yeah,
upbeat.
England's like cold
Yeah,
and
England's cold and depressing. It's always foggy in England. It's like there's I don't think I saw a freaking day of sunlight
I'm a heel in England just because of the
there.
relationship I had with Paige and how that ended. I'm a fucking heel there.
Like
It's bad.
it's like I mean it's just so Oh, it's so depressing compared to Australia. Like when we went there for WrestleMania, we didn't have to stay there the whole month, but we had to stay there for like 3 weeks, and it was just, ugh. I don't want to go
Yeah.
back. I don't want to go back.
Me neither.
I hope this WrestleMania location. I hope we can really get to Australia because everybody, Alan asked everybody back, so they were all like, Australia, Australia.
Yeah, that's what I would say because Australia is just the place to be.
Yeah,
But then
Australia.
you have then you have like England. I didn't hate it just because I was a heel there and like no one treated me properly. But it's just not fun wrestling there either.
Yeah, it's not as fun as it's more like gritty and dark. It's like that would be like of course that's Rush's kind of place because
Right.
Rush he is obviously an Englishman, but for some reason oh shit.
Don't die there.
What the hell? I almost died.
Why did Alan text me? Where are you guys?
What? He did?
Yeah, see?
The hell? What the hell, Alan? What's he type like that? Oh my god. Hell, Alan. Text him. Say we're in the boiler room.
Alright.
Even though we're definitely not, because it's way colder in here. He's probably actually gonna go to the boiler room looking for us. He's gonna find mankind back there.
That would be hilarious.
He's gonna find Kane back there.
Alright, there we go. Sent the message. But yeah, that's all I have for Paul Starr's podcast, like my reactions to it or whatever.
All right. So
He went really in depth.
He did go really in depth. There's like we can spend hours dissecting his interview because there's just so much to it. Like
Yeah.
there is. So I actually have like a fan question here. Oh my god.
Oh,
You won't believe who came up to me and asked this question. They're like, all right, can you? I was like, all right, everyone, I'm gonna be recording a podcast with Hayden. Don't tell Alan. And fucking Kofi Kingston comes up to me. He's like, you okay, man? You okay?
What did I knocked over my coffee? What did Kofi say?
Kofi. Oh, Kofi Kingston. Kofi literally just wanted to ask you what your dream match was. That's all Kofi wanted to say.
That's mad random. I didn't even know he was in the company. Okay. My dream match, probably Paul Starr.
Yeah, that's what everyone was talking about after the podcast.
Like,
It's
I would really like to face and have a legit feud with Paul Starr.
There's obviously there's already a lot of pre-built chemistry there. There's a lot of pre-built like animosity there. It's
I mean, back then I would say like Zach Poe, but like not like a dream match way in a way because like people know the history me and Zach have.
right.
We actually hate each other. Like it would be really good, but it's never gonna happen
It
because
would
of
make
Zach.
for good TV, really good TV.
Yeah, but like yeah, Paul Starr because I'm at the top of my game. He's always gonna be at the top of his game now because once you get to the top of your game, you're there forever.
Right.
And well, unless you're Zach, obviously, but. Yeah, I think Paul Starr, I think if WWE came up to me and was like Paul Starr's, actually returning and he requested to have like a rivalry with you, I would be like, all right, shit. Let's just do it.
That would be that would be actually a really big draw. Like for some people it's like for some people they don't they don't understand, but your guys' rise to fame is like completely like you guys it's a little more similar than people think because when you were coming up, your main rival was Allen, and when Paul Starr was coming up, besides Cena, actually you both went through Allen and Cena. Like you both went, like both of your main rivals were like Allen and Cena.
The poster child.
Yeah. Like you both had to go through Allen and Cena to get where you are. So the rise to the top is kind of it's more similar than anyone else would have you to believe. Besides like all the hardcore stuff, but it is really similar.
And both me and him we're like really good at portraying our hate for the other superstar on camera.
Right.
Like, actually make the fans feel like it's, like, a real rivalry.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, some of those feuds, you can tell, like, it just doesn't sell.
Right. Like, some feuds, it's like, all right, well, because it's like, it's acting, you know, like, people
Yeah.
understand, like, you have to be a really good actor. It's like, when, like, freaking, like, when CM Punk was shooting Goldust, you can tell that CM Punk was literally disgusted by Goldust because CM Punk's a good actor. But when Zack is, like, out there as a heel, you can tell he's just bored. It's like, well, I'm not feeling this, you know, I don't feel like he really wants to get at Paul Starr for anything. I just feel like he's just acting like a whiny baby because he lost his edge. So
Right. But then you have, like, I really think that me and Paul Starr could really sell, like, a good feud. But if you say, like, dream match, like, just a one match kind of thing, I don't know. I really did want to face The Rock. Like,
but
I think,
that almost happened.
yeah, it did. I really would want to face The Rock. Because, like, he's just great. He's great at selling, great at wrestling, everything.
Yeah, The Rock.
You want a donut?
Yo, I want a donut?
Yeah.
Where the hell did you get the donut box from? I didn't see that when you came in.
It was under the chair.
What the hell? Yeah, I'll have a donut.
All right, sweet.
You got blueberry?
What? No.
Damn. You got a strawberry frosting?
Look for yourself. Chocolate, glazed.
All right, let me see.
Everything but blueberry.
What? Well, let me see. All right. Now, it looks like you touched this glazed one, so I ain't touching that. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I don't know. Dude, you already got, like, Jericho sweat on you? I'm not touching all that. Let's see. I'll touch Okada sweat if you got that, though.
What?
Nothing. Alright, I'll just take the strawberry frosting. Fuck all that. Here we go. Alright, that's a good donut. Alan's gonna be looking for these, so you definitely gonna let him
I'll just buy him more. He's such a fat ass.
Alan's gonna be looking for these, my man.
That's a fucking other thing. If you misplace his food in the locker room, like, you'll fucking go crazy. Like, I remember once me and Alan brought in the same lunch because we were just coming off of Christmas and we both had leftover lasagna we brought, and then, like, I accidentally ate his, and he just flipped the fuck out. He was like, "Oh, who ate my lasagna?" I'm like, "Oh God."
Oh, fucking Alan, man. And someone's phone is going off. I think that's my phone. Of course, yeah. Seth is calling me. I don't wanna deny the call, man. This is Seth. This is my best friend.
All right, man, go take that call.
Fuck it. I'll take this fucking call. Actually, no, I'll take it in a minute. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'll just text Seth. Hopefully he won't get too mad. You know, that's my homeboy right there. You know what I'm saying? I love Seth.
Yeah, you guys are a funny duo.
Yeah, so wait, are you gonna, well, and I think Ellen probably already asked this, but I just want to get a little more depth into it because, there's a lot of, these rumor sites, man. You know how these rumor sites are, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they be like crazy, my man.
Shut the fuck up and spit it out.
They started rumors now. This Ryan Satin guy, I think that's his name. They started rumors that you and Seth's a little butthurt about you being the champion, and this is silly. Like, even silly, like, asking about this. And they're like, you and Seth have backstage heat.
Yeah, we don't even have backstage heat. Like, we're good, but, like, people are saying, like, "Oh man, you didn't even win the title through the real champion." I'm like, he got hurt, and they had a backup plan. I was the next in line, obviously, if I won.
Right. Like you were gonna face Seth and beat him anyway.
Yeah, I was next in line. I won, and as I said, I'm waiting for Seth to get 100% healthy.
Right.
I'm waiting for him to be 100% because I want him to be able to give it his all.
Right, and you guys can put on that really good WWE title match.
Yeah, and we're gonna have it.
That everybody's.
And that'll be that. I don't get why these people all over the internet just saying, like, "Oh man, you're not even the real champion because of this." and this and that and this. I'm like, all right, and then whatever. I'll just continue being the WWE champion, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I do have in my notes here, but any like backstage heat in general, if anybody currently.
No, I mean, Jake Carter doesn't like me, I don't think.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I'm just here to give him advice.
Right. Like
Like,
sometimes it's harsh advice, but it's still advice.
I can't. I don't hold my tongue,
Right. Like
and I give him advice. He likes it. He doesn't. That's on him.
that's how it works. Some people, when you're in this, you have to learn how to take advice. Everybody's gonna be even jobbers will come up to you and they'll ask you for advice, or they'll give you advice
Yeah,
as they ask you for advice. Like it's just like everybody has an opinion on
like
something.
jobbers have a completely different view of wrestling.
Right.
Like, cause they don't have to stress when they go out there. They just have to get
Right.
their ass beat
Yeah, they just have to get
and
their ass
hope that
beat.
they look good enough getting their ass beat so that they can eventually get a push, which is like so ass backwards. Like, yeah, I
Right.
mean, I really don't have heat with no one. I mean, Jake Carter didn't like the one thing I said on my interviews. He doesn't like what I tell him. Like, I'm not even like it's not that I hate him. It's just like I want to see him prosper, and here's my advice.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying you're never gonna be good, you're never gonna be world champion, but I'm saying like right now you have to just do a little bit more. And then he's just like, oh no, I think I deserve it. I'm like, all right, so go out there and prove it. Come
Right.
on, punk, prove it. No, I'm kidding. We had like backstage in general. There's like really no backstage heat. I mean, I know
That's just
Psycho Matthew got a little bit of backstage heat recently, but that's it. Like everyone's just real friendly with each other. It's a really good backstage area to be in right now.
right. Like everyone's like we're getting constructive criticism now instead of toxic criticism. Everyone's supporting each other for the most part. Everyone's, like even backstage now. Like I remember when I first won the title. When I went backstage, literally nobody was back there. Everybody was gone. But now everybody, like most of the people stay for like the only people that really leave are like the jobbers who are well, no, the jobbers stay because they want to observe. Um, but like those lower mid card guys will leave. Like they'll
Right.
leave and go back to their hotel and watch. But for the most part, everybody literally just stays for the
Day
main
one of
event.
Raw 25 was just outrageous. Everyone was there
Yeah,
from
literally.
hour one to we do 5 hours each day or something like
No,
that.
it was if I think for day one we went 2 hours.
Yeah, too. Like,
Yeah,
but everyone was there like 3 hours after that still.
right,
Like, because there's just so much information to pick up, just so much people to talk to, and like no one was leaving. But it's like that on like a regular Raw day. Everyone's just there.
right. Like yeah, especially nowadays, everyone's like like it used to be just main events, everybody leaves, but now it's like main events. You go backstage and like freaking everybody's there. Like even Vince will be there sometimes. I love seeing Vince around. I love seeing
Oh yeah,
Vince
Vince
around.
is a meme now that he's not in control.
Yeah, I love seeing him around now that he's not in control. Like I love seeing him around. I like seeing Shane around too. I don't like seeing Stephanie around that much.
Right, like, and it's just so great to be a WWE champion during this time because I feel like we're doing everything just great. Everyone's getting along.
Right,
There's not like that backstage pest that no one likes.
right. So wait, what? Because I already know what went down. Well, I don't know everything what went down, but a few rumor sites picked up on it. I'm gonna guess a certain someone leaked it to them, and we all know who that certain someone was because that's like Jake Carter's best friend. So we know Jake texted him about it. You guys had like an altercation because I guess he was filming. He was filming Ellen's interview. This was one of her pre-taped ones. It wasn't like live like
Yeah.
yours was. And she was filming, and then you like overheard something that you didn't like, and you literally came in and stopped the recording.
Well, yeah, because he was like, I get it, he was in character, but he was just snapping at like what Ellen was saying, like calling her an ugly bitch or whatever.
Hmm.
Like I came in, I was like, at least watch your mouth because this is not like absolutely in character,
Right,
and like you're really gonna get a negative rep from this. Like
right,
it was both me giving him advice, but like at the same time, like cool it.
right. And like
Like
there was a lot of opinions about it, like it was over the top. Which, in retrospect, like I kind of agree with that. That it was kind of like a little overdoing it a little bit with that.
yeah,
Cause like I imagine characters like Paul Starr use profanity a lot.
Yeah,
Because Paul Starr, he's an ECW guy. They all use
but
profanity.
he does that good.
Yeah.
Like I told Jake, I was like, this is the advice I'm gonna give you. You're not Paul Starr. You're not anyone that goes out there and curses a bunch.
Right.
Carter, yes, you can do it, but don't overdo it, and that's what you're doing. You're overdoing it, and especially when it gets to the point where you're calling an interviewer a stupid bitch, stupid ugly bitch, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Like that's the point where I had to go in there and just say something. Oh yeah, maybe I guess I did yell at someone during this rain. Got me. Got me.
That cameraman was he was bad excited, man. I don't think he stopped rolling it. I'm pretty sure he still
I
has the
think he
footage.
pulled out his phone and he started rolling on his phone so that he had it. Yeah, like but yeah,
I was like, what the
I
heck?
had to stop it right there and then tell him to like redo it because that's just not fair to Ellen.
Like I was talking to freaking Anthony backstage, and then Alan just comes out like, "Oh, there's something going on." I'm like, I heard Hayden stopped an interview. I'm like, what are you talking about? Hayden stopped the recording. Hayden's in front of the camera shouting. Freaking Hayden knocked down a coffee mug. I'm like, what is going on? So I walked
Listen,
back there.
no, I tried to go get coffee like right after that and it slipped out of my hand because I was so tense. And I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah. And I was like, Hayden knocked down a cop. I walked back there, and then like, Anthony has to pull Jake aside, and I have to talk to Ellen because she's just there awkwardly in the middle, and
Yeah.
then Alan's talking to you. I'm just like, what the hell? We having
And
a
then
whole
like
a
then I
three on.
just and me and Jake were just like arguing over everybody.
And
And
then,
I'm just giving him advice like, look, dude, you can't be pushing your character that much. I know you want to be a champion, right? So just take the advice of a champion.
right.
But he didn't want to. He got a little pissed, ended up going home.
Yeah, Anthony had to send him home. They were like, he was shouting over Anthony's shoulder at you, and then you were shouting over Alan's shoulder. And this cameraman has like this biggest shit-eating grin on his face as he's moving his phone back and forth. I'm just like, what the? It was a funky scene. It was a funny scene to be
Zach
in.
was there for his interview and he had to
Yeah,
pipe his mouth.
yeah. I was like, well,
And then like you tossed him to the side. You were just like, all right, just get out of here.
Anthony. It was me and Anthony. We both chewed him out.
Yeah.
Anthony gave him that look. He was like, at first it was a smile, and then it like gradually turned into a frown.
I know he does that a lot.
I'm like, all right, here we go,
I mean, it was like I was just like sick and tired of it because like I would see it on TV and I would keep the opinion in my head, but then like just at that moment it just all escaped.
yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. Like sometimes, just get. It's like I agree with you though. Like change it up a little bit. Like I mean, even Elis was there for his interview. He was in the stands for his interview. He was waiting, and he was like he pulled us all aside when me, you, Anthony, and Alan were talking about it. He was like, yeah, I agree with you, Hayden. It was a little bit over the top.
And
And
he laughed about it afterwards, like
yeah.
after I came in and like interrupted the video or the interview, he was just like, "What? It was funny." I'm like, "No, the fuck it wasn't." Yeah.
Yeah, Elis, when Elis agrees with something,
Oh yeah.
because Elis, he usually never gives his opinion. Like,
Yeah, he just walks around. He's just
yeah,
him.
he's just all chill and stuff. He invites us to barbecues for some reason.
His barbecues are chill. He invites us to barbecues and then just goes inside to play video games. I'm like, okay.
Mark Henry gets all mad at him for doing that.
Cause like we're all out there eating and he's just inside. Like,
I'm like, what the hell, Elis? Oh god, but yeah, that's that whole situation. It was like making headlines for a day. Like there was like one site was like Jake Carter fired by the WWE. Jake Carter, Anthony Chandler grants Jake Carter, aspires Jake Carter on the spot. Anthony Chandler suspends Jake Carter on the spot.
He's a big asshole and we all knew it. Like I remember that one. WrestlingRumors.com hosted that.
Yeah.
They were
Anthony,
like, we always knew the Hayden was this asshole, and
Anthony had to come out and be like, Jake Carter's still with the company. He had to make a whole press release. I'm like, this isn't necessary. They'll see Jake Carter on TV.
Yeah.
I was like, Anthony,
I
don't
don't.
do this. He was like, no, I gotta uphold the reputation. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I was so like I just shook my head. I think I just shook my head and just like went to sleep because it was on Facebook Live, and I was just laying there in my locker room on this little couch I have, and like I was just watching, and then I was like, yeah, no, fuck this. Like we're just gonna see him anyway, but no.
Yeah, he did this whole press conference. I'm like, what the hell? He's out there defend art. We take pride in our WWE champion Hayden. I'm like, all right, what the hell is all this?
What happened was supposed to stay behind closed doors. And,
Right? I'm like, well, AC is he is. It is kind of like that's why I always say wrestling's kind of like politics, you know. Always got to make these big ass press releases when a scandal breaks. I'm like, well, you know who leaked it, right? I'm
right,
looking right at him. I'm like, you know who leaked it, right? Zach. Everyone's thinking, you know, who leaked this, right? Like, who got this out here? Obviously, it was Zach, because you know Zach can't keep his
Zach
mouth
can't
shut.
keep his mouth shut, right?
Yeah, like I was like, damn, the same shit happened all the time with Paul Starr. Whenever Paul Starr would do something, Zach would make sure be you know, who would leak it. Like when that whole thing with Jake originally happened at the I don't know if you were there. It was at the Canadian Invasion pay per view.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't go on that trip.
Yeah, it was because that was the off season where you were like, oh, I just want to go to Australia and that's it. It was like I think it was in either late June or early July. We had a
Oh
Canadian
yeah,
invasion.
my passport expired,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to. I told you guys my passport expired, and then Alan was like, can't you just renew it?" And I was like, I made up some bullshit story about how I had to wait.
I think you made a story about a DUI or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I just really didn't want to go.
I just wanted to go because you know Canada.
Alan does this weird thing when he's like, "Yeah, you guys don't have to go on this trip, but,"
And
and
then
then he just forces everyone to go.
then he tries to pressure you into going.
Yeah,
Same stuff Vince did for Tribute to the Troops. He just pressures you into
yeah.
going.
Try to get RVD to go.
And I was okay with it. And then like I don't remember if I competed on the paper. No, I'm pretty sure I didn't compete. I think it was like literally just like all Canadians competing in a match. I know there was like a New Day and what's the other team? The Young Bucks and Kenny
Yeah,
Omega, the
Damn,
Elite.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
the New Day and the Elite. And the main event was Jake Carter and CM Punk, and that's when CM Punk literally just won the title from Ryan Nathan, and CM Punk was trying to put on this good 5-star match, and I'm sure Jake was trying to too, but apparently something happened backstage, and like I guess Jake threw a fit in the middle of the match, and he was like sandbagging Punk, and then Punk got pissed and kicked him in the head, and
Oh my god, those moments are the worst when like you actually get into an altercation in the ring.
yeah, you know how pissed off Punk is. He doesn't play it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, Punk, he doesn't. Ever since Allen's been in charge, Punk has been like way more aggressive than usual, and he kicked out. I almost said he kicked Allen. That wouldn't have been good. He kicked he kicked Jake in the back of the head, and then Jake rolled out the ring and walked out of the match. And like we had to shoot it to where Punk won by count out now, and it was just a whole big thing. And then once he got backstage, Paul Starr is just in his face, and Paul Starr is like going off on him. He's like, you know, you son of a bitch, you know, you were the main event. This was your chance. You may not get this chance again, and he hasn't yet. But he's like, you may not get this chance again.
Right.
And nobody was stopping Paul Starr. Usually, I would expect like Anthony to jump in, like, you know, calm Paul Starr down. But literally, nobody was stopping Starr. Like he was just going off. Like this, and this is when Starr was like, well,
I
making his
remember
way.
hearing about this because I think you called me later that night because I asked what happened.
Yeah, because you probably heard it on like the rumor sites. Because like I said, Paul Starr was like heading to the top of creative, and he was like so pissed because like, you know, he tries to make sure these matches, like he was the producer of this match basically, like he was the producer.
Right. So I
Like
was like, who walked out? And
yeah, he was the producer, and then you know Jake walked out, and there was a huge argument between Jake and Paul Starr, and Jake walked out, and then Anthony was like, all right, go home, you know, we'll figure this out later, and. I guess, you know, the first thing Jake did when he got in his car was text Zach and tell him the whole situation, and then Zach went to his little scoopers because, you know, that's
I
their
don't know why
source,
he goes to Zach for like the best advice and
right?
information and
He
stuff
goes
like
to
that.
Zach for everything. I'm like, you know, Zach's not like usually you go to someone who's like,
Big in the company.
yeah, and usually like
He
not
didn't
someone
burn
who's like,
bridges.
yeah, not
But,
someone who's like who like everyone in the company, like the majority of the company doesn't like.
right.
Um, And yeah, Zach leaked this, and then like that's probably where you heard it. It was like the big headline: Jake Carter left the company. Paul Starr is an asshole, and
Yeah.
it's like okay. And Anthony didn't even have to do a press conference. Paul Starr just went on, and he literally called out all the reporters by name.
I-
He called them out by name on Twitter on a Twitter video, and then he called out Zach too because he was like, I'm pretty sure because everybody knew Zach leaked it. Like
right.
every time there's an altercation with Jake Carter, like it's like no, it's not a secret. Like it's like okay,
Yeah, like I say, he has potential, but it's just like mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake.
yeah.
And it's like how can you see someone like that as a world champion? Because when you're a world champion, and if he was to do something like that,
Then that puts the entire booking in
entire company,
jeopardy. Yeah, that puts not just the booking, not just the creative. That puts the public image. That puts the
right,
media's like because as WWE champion, you're like booked ahead of time for so much stuff. Like you're booked for
right.
all the media appearances. You're booked for all the meetings with like the influential people, and
Like
sometimes
I've been like in the meetings, I've had like sit down interviews with
right.
like, Hulk Hogan for some reason, like posters, like poster shoots. I'm on like a couple of fucking billboards in Seattle for whatever reason, and yeah,
Yeah, then when you pull
it's a really big deal.
when you Jesus Christ that donut when you pull something like that and like it puts the entire company in jeopardy, it puts everybody in jeopardy, and then we have to scramble for like a plan B, and it's it sometimes most of the time the plan B will be busy doing another feud. it
Right.
it just so happened that when Seth Rollins got injured, you were already like building your way up, and
Yeah.
you were already
Adam
in
was
this.
already in the title picture.
Yeah, you and Allen were already in this little feud going for the title, so it just so happened, all right, that's for the title now, and you won. But if like, just imagine if not, like if that just happened and he did that while he was world champion, it would be like, I
Like,
tell you
wow,
what,
the world champion just walked away, and now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
right, and he would never be world champion again. I'll tell you that.
Right.
That's for a fact. He would never be world champion.
That's why like people wonder like why hasn't he gotten pushed to the moon yet? And this is exactly why.
Yeah, it's
Like
a it's
it's
it's a, it's a
scary
trust thing. Like,
because we went through this with Zach where he would literally like as champion just like get up and say fuck this company.
right, and that's what caused him to lose. Tried to drop the title of All Star.
Yeah.
Like originally he was gonna drop it to Christian, but Allen and Vince decided that Star was doing good behavior, so they gave him the title.
Right. And I'm just trying to coach this kid, and he's just like, "Fuck you, Hayden."
Yeah, don't if you're gonna have someone coach you, don't have it be Zach. By the way,
Yeah,
don't have,
that's why I'm trying to give him like good advice, but he sees it as like I'm trying to bash him. He's developing the same mentality Zach had, where like whoever gave him advice, he would take it as someone telling him to go fuck himself.
yeah, are trying to sabotage his craft. It's like, dude, no one's knocking your craft. No one's no one's like against you. It's just like
Like I would take everyone's advice and like
right,
constantly change my attitude and do whatever I had to do because I knew what I wanted at the end of the day, and if I just like threw some bitch fit, that I would never get there.
right, and like disrespecting Paul Starr and I like like me and Paul Starr, we weren't really like close friends when he was in the company, but I always had respect for him. Like
Yeah,
even
like I recognized, like I called him an asshole and all this other stuff, but I knew he was a big deal and that he was a center stone of the company. So I'm
right,
not just gonna be like, oh, go fuck yourself. And
and I knew all the stuff he went through. I wasn't gonna like, and for Jake Carter to like say all that to him and like disrespect him like that, I'm like, you're just making it harder, not just for you, but for him too. It's like, because Paul Starr, a lot of things weigh down, and like people don't
right,
realize that like he wrestling is him. Like that's Paul
that's
Starr.
his life.
Yeah,
He
like
doesn't even have a family, so
it's like I mean I like even when Paul Starr and my dad would get into it, Paul Starr and Alan would get into it. I would not try to jump into it. Like I would try not to. I would try to be the medium man because it's just like respect both of them.
yeah, I hate arguments.
Yeah, you respect both of them, and it's like, but when it was Jake, I took Star's side because I was like, no, it's not right. It's not right. Like, not only did you,
I think in that situation I would have too, because I did my own little stunt where I just walked to the back in that over the top rope match I had with like Brock Lesnar.
yeah.
Yeah, and I as soon as I did that and went backstage, I just started apologizing as soon as I got back. Like it wasn't a situation where I went home. I like as soon as I got to the back, I'm like, "Fuck, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't know what I was thinking." Like,
Al is just standing there with his hands on his hips.
yeah, I'm like, "No, my bad. I didn't mean that. I just let it get the best of me." And
Yeah, they were able to play. They were able to play it as a shoot though, so
yeah,
it wasn't like no. I mean, play it as a work though, so it wasn't like no. But with Jake Carr, I'm
he
like
just left.
yeah, and he didn't. It wasn't just Star. He disrespected like all the people that he disrespected Punk especially, who was literally that was Punk's like first match as world champion, and like you just completely made him look weak. And you
Yeah, like you just won a main event by count out.
yeah like all these Canadian fans that came out to see you fight CM Punk. I mean, like, yeah, they were going to
Your
see,
fucking country.
yeah, they were going to see you lose, but at least they got to see you put on a 5-star match. You didn't even do that.
And he was gonna have a promo after that and
Yeah,
all this, like good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. He was gonna have a promo off the air to wish all the fans goodbye and cut a little kind of like face promo, and he kind of just ruined it all. And the fans went home all sour. I know. I remember freaking Bret Hart had to come out
Yeah.
cut a promo with Punk, and then he had the I don't know. I think they sent out another heel out, and they Punk and Brett like punked him, and then that sent the crowd home happy, I guess.
Yeah, because like literally when like Alan and them have to like rework something because someone walks out or whatever, they hate it.
Yeah, they do. They hate it because it's just annoying for everybody. Because
No
like
one plans for a plan B. Like that's just stupid.
yeah, like you expect it to go like you expect it to go exactly as well, not all the time, but like for stuff like simple as like doing a match, you expect the match to actually like happen.
Right?
Like it's like
It's ridiculous.
damn, feel bad for Brett.
Let's get to some brighter topics.
Batista.
Oh, that dude Batista, big cock, big cock. What? What?
What the hell? Okay. So we were talking about this before, and we were talking to RVD, and he was telling us the story about he told Taz was being a dick, and he told Taz to pick a hand, and then he punched Taz. He decked Taz with the hand. Yeah, that was a funny story. We were dying for a long time. RVG just walked away as we were dying. He was trying to talk to us about something else. I can't remember. We were still just dying about the picture.
Yeah, because like we had this cool because already is a real cool guy to talk to.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot in the wrestling company. Mostly any situation that's ever happened, he can relate to.
Right.
He walked out on the WWE before, and he went through a phase where there was some assholes backstage, and he's been through a lot. So I was just asking him for advice, and then I was like, "Oh wait, remember that moment when you like picked a hand for Taz and whatever?" And then me and you just started dying because you had just walked up into the conversation, and then we both just started laughing, and then he just walked away.
We gotta go talk to him again when we're done with this. We gotta go. We gotta see if he's okay.
Because it was like 20 minutes before the interview.
And yeah, so I wanted to do a kind of a segment like that. Like for Zach, I think I did like the asshole box, but I wanted to do something different. I want to do the RVD pick a hand here with Hayden Washington Storms him.
All right, let's do it. That's actually interesting.
So yeah, my first on the list, Seth Rollins.
No, me and Seth, we've never been like good friends, but we've also never been good enemies.
Mm-hmm.
We've always had that like, oh hey, how are you doing kind of friendship.
Right.
Oh, he's cool. Yeah, he's really cool.
CM Punk.
CM Punk, kind of the same thing. We never really ran into each other, but he's very humble these days. Like
Right.
he used to stress out a lot, but like now he's just very, very humble, and I like that about him. So no, he doesn't have to pick a hand.
All right. Triple H.
He just likes to lose now. Like, I can't remember the time he actually won a singles match. Like, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a while since he won really like anything. I think he was winning tag matches with Stone Cold. It's like only when he gets with Stone Cold does he actually like win matches.
He used to be a real dickbag. Like, I remember I think I faced him at SummerSlam, right?
Right.
And oh my god, that whole like, he is so like, when he's actually like big and he's actually like planning stuff out, he does not like know for an answer. Like not like that, but like he likes if he comes up with something that he thinks is really cool, and you're like, oh, he's like, well, why isn't it cool? Yeah, so he could have picked a hand then, but like now it's just like whatever. He's a legend. He has that legend status to him where he's pretty cool now.
Rey Mysterio.
Why? No. Ray, he walks around backstage and calls everyone amigo and dog, and he's so gentle. He said Ray. If anyone says yes to that, I think the only person that ever hated him was Chris Coleman. They got into that backstage fight that one time. That was great.
I mean, Ray can move though for a small guy. Like, he's hard to catch in a fight. I was like, what the hell? Did Batista teach him how to fight or something?
He like slammed Chris Coleman down, and then like Coleman got up and like tried to punch him, and then like Ray like dodged it completely.
I was like, damn, a swing and a miss. Chris Jericho.
We've had our moments, but mostly like when you see on stage when we're being idiots is what we are backstage.
Right. JBL.
Yeah, he can pick a hand. He just says nothing but stupid shit all the time. Backstage, it's just he'll walk by me. He's like, "Hey, champ!" Like, I'm like, oh my god, what do you want? And then he'll say something outrageous like, "Hey, can you have a segment where you like talk to me on commentary?" I'm like, and I just walk away. Like, no.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's a great commentator. I love his commentary, but backstage he's just an idiot.
Zach Poe.
What do you think?
Paul Starr.
Now no, but back then definitely yes. He could have caught both hands.
Chris Coleman.
Yes.
Antonio Snyder.
No, we actually have a very like surprisingly great relationship outside of the company.
You guys were all hanging out during that retreat. I was like, what the hell is this?
Well, yeah, cause back when I was like down, like he was like my only like one of my only friends backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would train together all the time because I'd be like, listen, man, I don't know how like these people don't like me, so I'm just gonna train and train and train and see what happens.
Right.
And then I would just go to his gym and we would just train nonstop.
So no Antonio then.
Yeah, no.
All right. What about
I didn't know the pick ahead. He'd probably like my ass.
What about Kurt Angle?
No, he's very cool. Loud but cool.
What?
He's pretty loud backstage.
Oh, I thought you said Caribbean cool. I was gonna say what the hell.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks.
No. I mean, I don't really have an opinion about them, but like when they're backstage, they like to parade. Like
it gets kind of annoying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just they're not like people you want to. Well, sometimes you want to punch them, but they're colorful characters.
They have this swagger that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's like Allen has a good swagger. Elis has a really good swagger.
Yeah.
They do not have a good swagger at all. What about Rush?
Yeah, he's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I actually when I thought about doing college, I was in college with him because he actually has this whole like degree and shit. He actually went and did that bullshit.
Fucking
like I took like in my first semester before I quit. I only did one semester and I hated it.
Kanye West over here.
Yeah, I took classes with him. He's pretty cool. class clown, of course.
Bret Hart.
No.
Ric Flair.
Yes, actually.
Why?
Yeah. He's just like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to disrespect the legend, but like, he really takes that legend shit to the soul. Like, he always starts his sentence with like, "Believe me, I'm a legend player." I'm like, that's why I just roll my eyes. He's like JBL annoying.
Kevin Nash.
No, Kevin Nash is actually very funny. Like, the moment I saw him, I think I already talked about it. He's like, "Hey, you're the WWE Champion now. How does it feel?" Yeah. Back in my day. He's one of those back in the day guys where like every time he tells a story, it's funny.
Omega Chandler.
I don't even know him like that.
Yeah, I forgot you guys aren't even related. I thought you guys were related for this entire time. I'm kind of mad about that. I really thought
I
you
mean,
were
like,
related.
it's like a relation that you can't name. Like, he's related to Anthony, so he's related to me, but like, at the same time, nah, it's weird.
Related by association.
Yeah, there you
basically. That can get really complicated. Where was I on this? I lost my stack, by the way. Just gonna let you know that. Where is it?
Well, I dropped my coffee like half an hour ago.
Yeah, right. Pick it up.
Oh, we'll do that after.
We're not, dude.
It's over there. Come on.
That janitor is like good friends with Alan for no reason. The hell? All
Oh,
right.
is the janitor just gonna snitch on me? Oh shit! The Hayden spilled coffee.
The Undertaker.
No.
No.
He's giving me great advice.
The Undertaker. Everyone loves the Undertaker.
Backstage, like it's spooky. Like you expect him to be this serious, straightforward guy backstage. He laughs a lot.
He does laugh a lot.
Like he'll laugh at stuff that's not even funny.
Anthony.
No, we've had our sibling rivalry, but no.
Ashley.
What? No.
Elis.
Sometimes yeah, but no.
Yeah, it happens.
He rub people the wrong way sometimes, but he's great.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, even though I feel like he always wants to give me hands because like he's a jokester, but not a jokester. Like he's a selective kind of guy at what he laughs at. But, like most of the stuff I say, like he gives me that look.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, no.
Goldberg.
Yes.
Why?
He's a fucking dick. He really is.
Oh god.
Like
Okay.
when he came into the Royal Rumble and started spearing everyone, he gave me the hardest spear. I swear to God. I swear to God, he gave me the hardest spear.
Oh my
Ever
god.
since then, I don't look at him the same way.
Damn. Okay.
It's like he just came in the ring, gave everyone their spears, and then he like charged at me full force.
What about Vile / Mikey?
Who?
Vile?
Oh yeah. No. Me and him have a similar experience, except he's a lot less successful.
Right. Batista.
No. Ever since you started that whole like Batista dick joke, he runs along with it. I remember he went up to Trish Stratus yesterday. He's like, "Hey girl, remember me?" And then he put his hand on the wall. And he was like, "I got a big dick." And then Trish looked at him all weird. He's like, "Ah, I'm just playing." And then he like walked away. I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck did Aaron do to this guy?"
Oh yeah, me and Seth have reconditioned Batista a lot these past few months.
He's such a jokester now.
What about Matthew?
See, me and him, we just don't cross paths for whatever reason. We just haven't.
Right.
But I don't know. Backstage, we're not the best of friends. But no, he can't catch hands.
Randy Orton.
No.
Bray Wyatt.
Probably an RKO. No, that was a good time. Bray Wyatt, he's just weird. No.
Kevin Owens.
No.
Wade Barrett.
No.
Conor McGregor.
He's funny, but no.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We just had a little bit of interruption. I don't know why, but Mick Foley came in here.
Yeah, and gave him fucking pizza, and I'm just here.
I did not order any pizza, but I guess Mick Foley was thinking about me. So.
Fucking fat ass Mick Foley.
Why
He can catch a hand. Yo, he can pick a hand. Fuck Mick Foley.
Bro, I'll put him Mick Foley, bro. Freaking cursed him out. What about Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah, that's what we did before we left, yeah. Why'd you say again? Mick Foley came in. I don't know why.
I think Kevin Owens we left off at.
Alright, let's go to Daniel Bryan.
No, he's great. He's a great guy. He's soft, though.
Robert Chandler.
Yes. I think his only friend was like Zach Poe. Does something.
Yeah, that's something. God damn. Okada.
Oh no, he's been great.
I already asked JBL. JR.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. No, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh. Chavo Guerrero.
No.
Dude, why do you keep asking why he's here? Chavo. Sin Cara.
No. I swear, Chavo keeps coming up. He's gonna make like a world title run. He's gonna beat me for the title.
Oh, okay. Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, he's a queer backstage. I mean, oh my bad. He's a dickhead backstage.
What does that mean?
He tries to be bossy, but no one listens to him, and that just gets bad.
Oh, The Rock.
No.
Um,
It's always magical. Like, you know how when he comes out and it's just electrifying? That's how it is backstage, too.
right? When you're in his presence, it feels like you're in the presence of a Greek god, basically.
Yeah. Big Daddy. I mean, what?
What?
No, nothing.
Cody Rhodes and Goldust.
Goldust, no. Cody Rhodes, no. Never really had an interaction with Cody Rhodes and Goldust. He's just a good mentor.
Right. Vince McMahon.
No. At first, yes, because he treated me like his bitch. But now, no, he's just a funny old man at this point.
Right. Shane McMahon.
No.
Stephanie.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. No.
Linda.
No.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
No. He's a God-loving man. So am I.
What's his name? That one guy. That one unknown. Tom Brady.
Unknown?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he can get the hand just for Super Bowl Sunday. That's it.
George W. Bush.
No. I would give him a hand if he ever needed one. Like if he lost his hand or something, I'd give him a hand.
Me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Because you're watching me eat this pizza right now. That's
yeah, I'm fucking staring a hole through your head.
Getting jealous of this good pizza.
All right, well, what else do you have for me, fella?
Oh shit. What's his name? Vito.
Vito?
Yeah.
I've never met the guy, have I? I mean, he's here at Raw 25 for whatever fucking reason.
I don't know why. If he's here, Chavo's here, Psychosis is here.
I don't know why all these people are here, but no, I haven't met Vito yet. He looks like an asshole, but no.
Chad Snyder.
Oh yeah, no, I'm kidding. Imagine how much backlash I would have gotten if I was serious.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have cared. I would give him the hands. He's insane. He's crazy. He's worse than Alan. It's like, no, I can't. Most I was barely around during our get-togethers. Come, because this pizza is so good though.
You're eating with your fucking mouth full.
I know. So good. Still have the aftertaste of
Only
those
Alan
donuts.
does that at meetings. Now you do it? Oh my god.
Yeah. Alan's
Like
always
what?
bringing. Alan's always bringing food to me.
Like father, like son.
Mm.
Oh, badass.
All right. So, I think I'm done with the pick a hand stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio.
What, you still on about that Ray stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna punch Rey.
It was a raffle, okay? You saw me pulling out the bag. Jesus. God. So, Seth actually wanted me to ask, what were your favorite moments from when you first started out?
Like season 3 or season 2?
Whichever.
Well, season 2 wasn't really that eventful for me because there wasn't a lot of main eventers by the end.
Mm-hmm.
And for season 3, I guess one of my favorite moments was having a conversation with The Rock.
Yep.
Because we were actually going to have this feud and we were talking. Well, like when you talk to The Rock, he likes to talk about personal stuff, which is really good.
Right.
And he likes to give you advice for whatever you're going through and whatever. I guess one of my favorite moments was actually getting to have a full-blown, in-depth conversation with The Rock. Because he gives you a lot of insight, surprisingly.
Right.
Other favorite moments, all the women. No, I'm just...
I mean, everybody knows. Come on.
No, yeah, I can't even lie. I was a hoe in that day.
You're worse than CM Punk, man. Jesus.
Yeah, the women was a good time. They just, yeah, oh, fuck, that was a good time. Paige, oh man, that ass. But now everyone's been through it. So
Alright.
like,
Alright.
even you have. What the hell?
What?
I got him! Got him!
I put my pizza down. What the hell are you talking about? Alright, it was just, I guess there was Scarlett. Okay, that's about it. Right? In this company, anyway.
And then, after I beat John Cena for the title, the party after that was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, you guys did have a big party. I remember when
that was a huge party for no fucking reason.
I wasn't there, but I remember when I first came to your guys' party when you and Zach fought in the hotel elevator, and then Anthony had to come in.
Yeah, and then I steered you through a wall.
And Big Show threw I think the Miz threw a glass.
That party was amazing. Like everyone was just so happy for me, and I was like, cool. And then Zach found a way to ruin all that. But we're here again. I didn't have as big of a party this time. It was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Let me just run with the ball I have.
The party was more on social media.
Yeah.
And
like everyone just congratulated me backstage.
Yeah. They were taking all pictures and stuff. That's what I hate about after a big match. Everybody wants to stop you for a selfie. I'm just like, can I just go back?
Yeah, can I just go and like take a bath?
Like, damn. Social media culture. What about in season 4?
Oh, season 4. Was that the season of Big Show, or was that season 5?
Season 4 was a season where you died.
That was just the stupidest season for me.
Yeah, season 5 was the season where the Big Show.
All right, in season 4, I died. Who did I face at Mania that year?
You were in the World Heavyweight title match.
Oh yeah. That was a stupid season for me. I don't think I had a favorite moment. That was my downfall.
Yeah, that was a weird season. I was on the WrestleMania pre-show.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And I fought Justin Gabriel.
That was me trying to like pick up all the damage that was done after season 3.
Right.
Because season 3 was a decent season for me, and then season 4 is when Zach happened.
And you were with all the global force and
Yeah.
where season 5 obviously was the Big Show stuff.
Oh man, that match was just amazing. I got back after that match. Everyone was giving me praise, and like Alan was like, "You finally did it, man! Congratulations!" And then he like patted my back. But, like when he pats people's backs, he like smacks them.
Right. Oh, God.
So
Especially after a match, everything feels like 1,000 pounds. So Alan's like 1,000 times 10.
yeah,
I
that
remember he did
that
that.
was
He did that to me, and I just went flying across the room.
he did it to me, and I almost fell because like that Big Show match was hellacious.
Yeah, what was it like working with Big Show? You guys get
It's
along?
actually amazing. You don't really get hurt as much as you thought you would because Big Show is one of those people that's good at protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
Taking WMDs is like one of the funnest things like ever.
It is really fun. The way
Like
he hits him.
it's great, and he's just a great performer. He's a great person too. Because during our feud, we would just constantly go out to dinner after like the shows, talk about what we were gonna do next and all that stuff, and it was greatest time. Like I think probably one of my favorite feuds ever. And if I had another moment, I think it was when I was saying no more heroes as a face.
Yeah.
I don't know why Alan had me going out there doing that. I was like, why not just make me heel? He's like, oh man, you're really getting over as a face in this comeback thing. And I'm like, all right.
Oh. Whew, what did
Guys
Mick
dying
get?
eating a pizza.
I don't know what Mick just gave me, but I know it tastes good. All right,
Fuck,
so
Mick Foley makes good pizza. He didn't even give me a piece.
So
Oh, I didn't know you were even back here. What the fuck? Aaron's just gonna be in a room all by himself. Eating the pizza. Like, come on.
all right.
Catering to you for some reason.
Well, it's almost showtime, but so let's talk about this Extreme Rules match.
Oh yeah. So me and Zach, we were at this point where we didn't really like each other. And so before I go out to the match, I tell Alan, I was like, it's either me or him, man. I'm getting sick of this bullshit where like you guys are all pandering to I was flipping out backstage. I was like foaming out the mouth and shit. Wait, no, I wasn't. What the fuck? I was just like telling everyone like cuz he was doing his entrance and it was like a special entrance, I guess. But he was taking his time, and as he was doing that, I'm literally like bitching at the whole creative team, everyone that's out like back there. I'm like, it's either him or me. Like, you guys are not seeing what he's doing. He is horrible. The fans aren't even digging him as much as they're digging someone like Anthony or someone like John or someone like that. And then like Alan was just like he didn't know what to do because I felt like he agreed with me, but like he didn't want to tell anyone. Because like then there was Anthony like, oh, stop your bitching, and then like even Chris Jericho was on Zach's side, so I was like, whatever, watch this. And then so I go out there, you could tell by my entrance I was gonna be like a jerk. And then like I went in the ring, and every move he did, I like oversold it. Like he punched me to the face, and I fell to the floor and rolled out the ring. And then he like, after all, I was overly selling everything. I went into the ring, and he lifted me up for a suplex, and he just dropped me like accidentally, purposely, whatever it was. He dropped me on my neck, and then like I just got up holding my neck, and like I just like punched him in the face as hard as I could, and then he like fell on the floor, and I just started punching him, and then the ref had to hold me back, and then like Zach just like the ref like told Zach to like roll me up, and then he rolled me up and like made sure I couldn't kick out. And then after that, I went to the back, and then we got into a scuffle, and then I just went home. I just voluntarily left. I couldn't do it anymore. I really just could not do it anymore.
They actually have that on YouTube, the entire match someone recorded it from the top of the arena, one of the rafters.
It was taxing.
It was pretty funny though. It's like Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam. Oh my god.
Like it was really taxing. They had him.
He stunned you, and then I swear to God, you flew up, You rolled to your feet. You jumped backwards over the rope and landed on your ass outside the ring. I was like, what? I didn't even know you could be that athletic. I was like, what the hell is he doing?
I was so done with his bullshit because like backstage it's just annoying. He's back there putting certain people down. He wasn't even, you know how he would just like secretly go to creative?
Yeah.
He was just now at this time he was doing it in front of everybody. Like, oh, I don't like this guy. This guy sucks. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. And then I was just at the point where like, I'm just sick and tired of it. So, yeah, I just put him on his ass. Like, I was just gonna continue overselling everything until he won, and then like he dropped me on my neck, and at that point I just knew I was gonna flip. And then I went backstage because Zach went backstage first because he rolled me up and then ran out the ring and did that little hero thing.
Yeah.
And then like I just like stormed backstage, like I didn't even play an injury, like how after the matches we're supposed to do like a circle around the ring where we're hurt.
Yeah.
No, I just like rolled out of the ring and went backstage and then like walked up to him and punched him in the face again. And then he somehow like got me on the ground. He wasn't even punching. He was like, he had me in like this chokehold. And then we got like separated and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. It's either him or me. And then I put everyone on the spot. Everyone was like stuttering and slurring their words. So I just like left.
What was Jericho? What did Jericho say? What the hell?
Jericho, he was just speechless because like he never seen me like that to the point where I was actually like fucking him up because he knew I was annoyed at him, but he didn't think I would actually take it to that.
Oh, poor Chris.
It was definitely one of my low points, but at the time I was done.
Do you think he dropped you on purpose on your neck?
No. I don't think Zach would ever do that like purposely, but it was still fucked. Like I was just done.
It happens,
And then it took me a while to come back. And then I actually did come back and yeah.
It happened. That was when Hey. How are you?
Good. I told
Thank
you
you.
what they said though.
All these people walking in. How are they even finding this room, man?
I don't know.
Oh my god. How are they even finding this room?
Was that Trish Stratus just now?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Who was she yelling at?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I think she's yelling at Batista. I think he actually went back to flirt with her again. The hell? The hell, Batista? Man, we gotta talk to Batista.
Really likes you.
We gotta talk to Batista about this, man. He has a wife, right? He's still dating Angie, right? No, they broke up. Yeah. How's his daughter, Ashley Bautista?
Athena?
Yeah, Athena Bautista.
Her porn was good. I mean, what? No, Dave. No, Dave. Oh.
Right, you worry about Skid Diamond, alright?
Dave.
You worry about Skid Diamond. What was Skid Diamond? What even was that, man?
Oh, I don't know. It was. Listen, when I was single, I was enjoying it. And was I the WWE champion at the time? I think I was. Yeah, I was. No, I was world heavyweight champion. This is when I won it at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then she just like she invited me over. I don't know why I went over. And like she's a porn star, so I didn't think porn stars were actually like sexual outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went in, and then she had a poster of me for some reason. And then we were just having a cool time, and then it just happened, and she was filming it the whole time.
Why'd she have a poster of you?
I don't know. But she made a lot of money off of that tape.
You guys won an Emmy for that tape.
We did. I remember I was so embarrassed accepting that Emmy.
Ew.
Like she was like, after that, I want to know why like she recorded or whatever. She was like, we made a lot of money. I was like, what do you mean me? And then she like sent me a check, and she made a lot of fucking money off that.
She sent you a check?
Yeah, she sent me like 25% of it or whatever. And yeah, and then we had a couple of get-togethers after that.
Oh god.
That weren't recorded.
Why'd you record it? What the hell?
I don't know, but it was actually smart because we made some money off that. And then plus the Emmy, and then more people watched it. She keeps getting checks for that.
Didn't Hogan tell you what happened with him? Jesus Christ, they filmed him too.
Yeah, but like Hogan, he's old and he has a small wiener.
Oh, okay.
We have till 5:15 until we have to report backstage.
Oh shit. We do? No, we don't. No, we don't. Oh shit, Alan just texted me saying you have 15 minutes.
He doesn't even know where we are.
He doesn't even know where we are. I hope Mick doesn't tell him where we are.
He probably will.
Probably give him a slice. Oh, I gave Aaron a slice of pizza too. Oh yeah, you did. Where's Aaron? Oh my god. I hope Mick shuts his mouth or I'm really gonna fucking drop kick him.
Oh, I hate McFoley.
I love Mick Foley. He's just mad annoying.
Nah, you could catch a hand.
Why? You still salty about the pizza?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys aren't even like friends.
I don't know. He's a legend.
His daughter.
Everyone's friends in these past 3 days.
Right? Everyone's been all cool, but even the people that had like beef with each other are all cool with each other.
Yeah, but you know, he's Zach Poe, man. I had it, and no one saw what he was till after I left.
No, yeah, that's true. Nobody really did. And he's not at Raw 25 because of
Oh yeah, he is.
because of that. Yeah, because of that Jake Carter situation.
Yeah, we'll fucking see about that. No, I'm just like. Yeah, I think it was Chris Jericho that texted me like 3 or 4 months after, like, man, this company's in a real miserable state with Zach. Like, he's rubbing everyone the wrong way. Like, you were totally right and everything. And I was like, oh, I'm still not coming back. And then like a week later, I came back.
You're like, oh, I'm still not coming back.
Yeah, like, and then a week or two, I started thinking about it. I was like, well, if they finally see what's wrong, let me go and put the final nail in his coffin, I guess. Yeah, I admit it. When I went back, I just fucking let I was politicking to get him out of there.
I think everybody was, definitely, to be honest. It was a war for Zach's head. Surprisingly, the only guy who didn't really say anything was CM Punk.
CM Punk, he only speaks when it's about him.
Yeah, like, I guess he was okay beating Triple H's ass at WrestleMania.
That was a good feud.
Yeah, he has his WrestleMania feuds are always like some of the best. Like his feud with, like all of his feuds at WrestleMania are so iconic. Triple H was at WrestleMania 4.
His Goldust feud was weirdly good.
Oh yeah, when he first came back, that's right.
Yeah.
His Goldust feud was crazy. Holy shit. Fucking love Goldust.
He's fucking amazing. That promo was great.
I do. I really love Goldust. That's
He came back in his like boxers and shirt, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I didn't watch it on the thing. I was listening to it because I was in the locker room. I took a shower while I was listening to the show, and I heard it. I was like, "Wow, Goldust is really going off." And then I got my clothes on and I went to the back, and then like that's when I saw him. I was like, what happened out there? He's like, what are you? I was like, what are you doing in your boxers, man? And he just looked at me with that look. And then he just walked away.
Oh my god. Oh, that was a good ass promo though. Raw 25.
Yeah, it was.
Raw 25 has been crazy so far.
Guess I had. I can't wait for this last day.
It's just getting started.
And we're all getting good checks for it.
Right? And plus the Survivor Series check, we're all getting good checks at the end of the week.
Like, Survivor Series.
Like, we getting that Survivor Series check, man. Remember when we first got that SummerSlam check, the first time we went to Australia?
Yeah.
That SummerSlam check. That was the first time it was bigger than the WrestleMania check that year. I was like, what the hell?
That SummerSlam was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
That fight I had with Edge, that was the year I faced Edge, right?
Which one? Because there was one year you faced when you were the WWE Champion, you faced Dean Ambrose, I think.
Oh yeah. That's the one, Dean Ambrose.
I fought Dean Ambrose, and I
fought Edge
Shawn.
the year earlier.
Yeah, I fought. Yeah, the year earlier was Edge.
Yeah, and the fans were so grateful.
I think he beat you on Raw after that. And
yeah.
that was random.
we for some reason had a fucking rematch. Allen's booking is suspect sometimes. Like, I remember one time he walks up to me, right? I'm just sitting there eating my food at the cafeteria, and then he walks up to me and sits down. He's like, "Do you want to have a triple threat match?" I'm like, "Are you gonna tell me who's in the match?" He's like, "Yeah, you versus Jericho versus John Cena." And I'm like, "What's the context? Like, how are we gonna do it?" He's like, "No, I'm just gonna go out there and announce it." I'm like, "What?" Like, none of us had a world title, and he just wanted to do it. Like, nothing behind it. And then I'm like, "Oh, are you gonna create some context?" He's like, "No, I'm just gonna announce it, and we'll just see where it goes from there." I'm like, "Oh, okay." That I don't know. Allen can just
So,
book. He books really well, but sometimes it's just suspect.
so wait, what the hell happened at WrestleMania 3 with Jericho? Because that entire build was kind of weird. Like
Well, because like no one wanted. Well, we were supposed to have an actual tag team run,
Mhm.
and then we were supposed to have a feud, but like the feud was just not booked properly.
Right.
Like it was like literally like after the pay-per-view before that, which I forget what it was, Elimination Chamber or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it was Elimination Chamber. That's when
That's literally when the feud started.
yeah, oh yeah, that's when John Cena took the title off of you. That's right.
Yeah, because that Royal Rumble I beat the Big Show and
Chris Coleman.
Chris Coleman for the world title, and me and Jericho were tag team. We tag teamed in the Royal Rumble. I was there for educational purposes. That's what I said. And then we got to Elimination Chamber, and then that was the feud that started, and then it was just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And then yeah, I got shitted on for my performance, which I thought was still good. Jericho thought it was good, but Zach didn't think it was good, and whatever Zach said went. So
Well, why did Jericho go over in that match?
no idea.
That was one of the big questions. Why Jericho went over?
We just before we went out there, they were like Jericho's winning. Hayden's gonna take the second fall, and that's it. I was like, whatever, cool with me.
Just go out there and do your job, I guess.
I'm just gonna get head by Eve after this. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Because they
Oh.
for WrestleMania weekend they'd book you with like the best hotel possible.
Right. And Alan pays for it all. Well, now Alan pays for it. Back then it was Vince paying for it all, but now Alan pays for it all.
Yeah, they set you up with a really, really like the best hotel.
They hit you with that 5-star. Like people don't understand. And like back then they used to have it where like we would share a hotel with the fans, but like Vince and Alan started actually renting out the entire hotel. So they would be
Yeah,
booking
it's
rooms.
amazing. The food is amazing. Like
Yeah.
indoor pools, a great outside view at night.
Right. We have parties there like before the night before WrestleMania.
Right.
You just have a big
It
ass.
is great. I can't wait.
I can't wait for this WrestleMania. Las
Especially
Vegas.
now that I'm fucking like huge, like going into WrestleMania fan access. That's
Yes.
amazing.
We're going to Las Vegas too. That's the.
Woo.
It's
Hope I
gonna
don't
be.
get into some trouble, baby. It's
You
like no.
always get into trouble. You always get into trouble.
Yeah.
Fucking
I'm
last
surprised
time
I'm not in prison.
we went to the casino in Canada, and AC almost got in a fight, and then I was getting molested, and you were nowhere to be found. I was like, where the hell is Hayden?
And
You were the only one that didn't get in trouble that time too, which was weird. I'm like, usually whenever we go to the casino, Hayden's. I remember one time these Mexicans chased you to the back. They were all surrounding you, and then Ray had to come out and talk to them. I was like, what the hell? I don't even know where Ray came from that time.
Ray, he always gets me out of trouble.
Ray came out of nowhere. He just started speaking in Spanish. I was like, what the hell is this? When I first heard about that, so I hope you don't cause trouble this time. It's gonna be.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Listen,
I feel like Alan's gonna do something. No.
me and Brianna's relationship hasn't really been a relationship.
No.
If I'm single then I don't know.
You never know what happens, man. You know, those
I
Vegas.
wish Savannah was here.
I wish Savannah was here too.
Cause like I would love to run a storyline where I'm the WWE champion and she's like the women's champion and we're like this power duo.
Oh shit. We never did
Yeah.
this. We never actually done that really.
Yeah, we
On
haven't.
a storyline. Surprising. Him and then a power struggle storyline. It's
Yeah.
weird.
We have like a Storms Savannah era.
Oh, wait a minute. Savannah's last name is Storms, right?
Wait, is it?
Yeah, that's her name, Savannah Storms.
Oh shit.
That's her.
Well, we don't even have to get married then.
That's her last name. So, well,
I'm only in a relationship with Bree because I got her pregnant, and I guess it would look bad if I did anything else.
I just got out of mine, and she's pregnant, so yeah, it's whatever. I had the kid
You're
with.
gonna have 8 kids.
Who, you?
You.
No. Come on, what is with this misconception here?
Yeah, I'm glad this is my first, because that one was Zach's, and
Yeah, that whole DNA testing stuff was insane.
I was hyped when that wasn't mine, Loki. I was like, yes! Like, I cut off all ties with that baby. I was happy.
Yeah.
And the second one with Kyra was actually the guy that she did was Spanish.
You came out with a black baby.
It was something like that. But I don't know. I believed it for some reason. But no, this was mine. This was mine.
Oh, Spanish baby.
But yeah, you know, Ashley and Antonio have fucking triplets and shit, and you have kids, and Ryan Nathan's gonna have kids.
All right.
I want kids.
Shut up. He said, I want kids. Yeah, I have AJ and Amaya and this one coming along the way. All from 3 different people, by the way. Get busy. Get really busy.
Yeah, I don't know. Being single during WrestleMania season will really
I hope I'm single that long until WrestleMania season. Jesus.
that'll really spice up the season.
Yeah. Especially in Vegas. Jeez.
Because last year's WrestleMania when I faced AC, I got in trouble because I slept with someone that had a husband. That guy chased me in my boxers.
What the hell? Who got you out of the trouble this time?
Hulk Hogan actually.
Oh my God! What?
He was around. It was like 5 a.m. and he's the only one that wakes up that early.
What the hell?
And I didn't know who to call, so I called the WWE landline, and he just happened to be there. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh hey, it's Hayden. He's like, hey dude. Like, can you come bail me out? I'll pay you back after. He's like, yeah, brother, I'll be right there. What the fuck did you do this time? Yeah.
Whew. Oh my God, Hulk. Oh Jesus, Hulk Hogan.
But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Brianna situation. Like, the love's not there. We're just there for like the child.
I'll be there for the child.
I can be. I mean, like, I could be there for the child without like being with her, but like, I don't know. I'd feel bad.
Yeah, I feel kind of weird.
Cause like I didn't like Kyra, but like I was with her for the child, and yeah, I hate her. But.
Everyone I've had, sperm donor with, I'm on good terms with for the most part. But yeah.
No.
What are you talking about?
Didn't you have a Maya with
Okay, all right. So
you want me to adopt her, you dick? I didn't want your fucking kid.
Well, I didn't know where else to go. I was like, all right, well, I guess she's.
He just messaged me at like 3 a.m. Man, can we talk on the phone? I'm like, what? And then I answer. He's like, yeah, can you adopt a Maya? I'm like, no.
Anthony and Ashley actually almost did it.
After me and Addie's breakup, she doesn't know this, but I broke up with her because I got Brianna pregnant.
Oh, shit.
Look, man, me and her were in an argument, and then Brianna showed up at the casino, and
hey.
I laid her out over the desk, and okay. This is...
Well, if you guys have it, check out our casino, the Joker's Fortune.
Oh yeah, that casino is fucking amazing.
Big business, lots of jobs, big hotel, lots of restaurants for some reason.
Fucking babes.
Fucking Italians all over. I don't know why there are a bunch of Italians there. I have no idea. A lot of British people, a lot of Native Americans.
I hate Native. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, Joker's Fortune. Go check it out. I mean, WWE hosts some shows there sometimes. So if you're ever in there,
We have 5 minutes. You got any burning questions, fella?
yeah, I do actually.
Oh jeez.
How big is it?
What?
What? What the hell? What the hell is going on? All right, so what are you looking at for this year's WrestleMania? What kind of matches? What match are you really want to be in the ring with?
Whatever they give me, I would like to face a Snyder because I'm trying to build up the Snyder feud. But if not, like I said, I can probably convince Paul Starr to come back. Because he already did an interview with you, so that's like his foot's kind of in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Left us off with nothing at the end of that interview.
I'm surprised Alan let me do that interview.
Yeah, I've always wanted to face Zach at WrestleMania, but that's not gonna happen.
It's actually looking more likely that you and Anthony could reunite.
I would love that, honestly.
As like a cousins kind of thing.
No, I want to face you. Let's go.
Okay.
No, but yeah, I honestly don't mind. I'm gonna put on a show either way.
Oh, so if you face Ryback, you'll put on a show.
Yeah.
No.
His ass will be grass though. I'll oversell his moves.
Oh, give him the Zach treatment. I just hope I have a good match. I just hope I have a really good match at WrestleMania because I was so demoralized in WrestleMania 6 when I had to face Zach. I was so demoralized.
Oh Jesus!
Then at WrestleMania 7, I had like the best match of my life. So I hope. It seems like every 2 years I have some kind of match that I honestly don't give a shit about. Like,
yeah, I got what you're saying because like that world title match, I was like, okay, it wasn't the best of things, and then I faced a Big Show.
right.
I was amazed, and then I faced. Was AC next, or was there a match in the middle?
AC was WrestleMania 7.
Big Show was 5, so who was 6?
Were you even at 6?
Oh no, that was the world title match.
No, 4 was the world title match.
Oh, so I was at 6.
You were?
Yeah. No, we'll just save it for another time, fella.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're running out of time here,
Alan's blowing up my fucking phone. Where are you two assholes?
At the same time, Chad's blowing up mine, so I thought I blocked his goddamn number.
Wow.
I did. I thought I did. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that podcast.
Yeah, this was a good one.
This was
funny.
This is probably the most fun podcast I've done.
It was chill, laid back. I didn't go as in depth as Karizu, or Paul Starr. Who the fuck is Karizu? But I don't know who the fuck is Karizu.
I don't
but
know.
yeah,
Hell is crazy.
I didn't go as in depth as Paul Starr, but I tried to be chill and fun.
Yeah, but we're always gonna do more of these, so there's always time to cover our bases. Especially we have to do one after Survivor Series. We have to get everyone together after Survivor Series.
Talk about Raw 25 and Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to do that. I'm trying to get Paul Starr to join us too.
I'll be here.
All right. Well.
All right, you guys enjoy the last day. And
can you carry the pizza box for me? Because I got my hands
full. No, fuck you. You carry that fucking pizza box. Foley has a 2-inch dick, by the way, guys.
Okay, well, I'm not carrying that. Don't get that coffee over there, man. That janitor, I'm telling you, he has like a friendship with Alan.
I'll pay off the janitor. Don't you worry.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Have fun. Raw 25. Woo! Even though this will probably come out after Raw 25, but
yeah, true.
hey, Dick's his dick. All right.